Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Low Ink. We are here, and I am joined by the lovely NM as we have our next match up and ready for you guys. We have Lush versus Solo Q. Very interesting.
Yep, two teams that were able to take their first rounds and are now moving on to this round two, opting for this top 8. Both these teams are definitely going to be finding something on Splatzone's Mahi Resort. I know both of them are going to be trying to fight for this as much as possible today here.
Oh, absolutely. We love Mahi in this household. Seeing that map change from the center, well, some of us may not be the most in favor of Mahi, but I'm sure our backline friends back here are, which I'm hoping to see backlines. Again, as a backline player myself, I'm always hoping to see some sort of charger on the field, and I'm crossing my fingers that one of these teams definitely brings one out.
I mean, I imagine, especially with Pencil being a weapon in the game, I wouldn't be surprised to see a charger. But if there's no charger, that would definitely be the surprising part. Because if you're not picking Pencil, the most likely, backlines we see a lot are stuff like Zeko Finn, or even that Rapid Pro Deco. So I could see one of those free weapons come out for the backline, but mainly that cooler Pencil.
Or the rarest case scenario, we see an E-leader. I'm like a cheerleader in the back. I'm like, oh, you want to pick leader so bad. But yes, for sure, ZF and Pencil tend to be the more common picks among the Charger class. But I like how you mentioned the Rapid Pro Deco. That thing could be a menace. It is a almost backline, anti-backline. A menace to society.
It is an absolute it is an absolute menace to society, and I wouldn't be surprised to see one of these teams coming out with them today.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if they want to shut down any possible pencils or backlines that are running around. Either that or ledge camping weapons like buckets. I'm also hoping to see as well, because they can be really silly on underneath right there. But we're going to be opening right up. We're going to see just what these teams want to bring to the table. My fingers are crossed. The gal we were talking about, the first Zeko Finn! And the Rapid Pro Deco.
Seeing some nice weapons here. Going to be seeing the Rapid Deco. Interesting enough, we're going to be seeing the Ink Brush come out from Allegro here. Don't see a lot of ink brushes nowadays as we're moving more and more into the cooler meta. It had that niche beforehand, being faster than a bunch of other weapons, but now with all these weapons being fast with the cooler, ink brush is pretty much the same speed as everything else. That's why we don't really see it as often, but coming out here, Ray's going to be able to take out Inka at the beginning, fan out that snipe, trying to find something else here. They have the inkjet at the ready, going to try to pop it to save themselves, but it's not going to work. Mini opting to go back a little bit. They have the pencil, which means there's going to be a lot of coolers coming out. On the opposite side here, on the side of Lush, we're seeing the Chinese boat coming out as their cooler option. Again, a lot more aggressive, so that means they're not going to be playing a lot more towards that cooler span that a pencil to play towards.
For sure. And that is a almost camp legend. What? That was fall off. A trade here on the jump in, but it looks like that zone is going to be neutralized once more. I am a liar in the favor of Lush here once more, counting down, slowly taking their way past these penalty points. And here's the ZF trying to make getting a pick right here from the center. Again, we love to see these picks here from the Charger, slowly but surely, as the members of Solo Q are trying to make their way back in. Seeing that Zuka trying to find a pick, not quite finding it, but these points are continuing to drop here in the favor of Lush. Oh my goodness, they wipe out to add on top of that, sealing off here with the buckets, making their way under the ledges of Solo Q right now. They are looking really nice in their advantage stage, and on top of it, just especially to continue to chain onto that, they are trying to take these points as much as they can, or in the best case scenario, try and take it down to a knockout even.
Yeah, and it's not looking good right now for Solo Q. Allegro trying to find something, able to trade with Inka, but with just 2 players left alive. One of them in an inkjet being camped out of the sky. That's going to be the game 1 going to Lush. Having a really nice defense, really nice wall against Solo Q, making sure they got the picks, making sure the Tri-Nouveau was right under those ledges, able to get the members of Solo Q down, leading to a very, very nice knockout for Lush.
Oh, absolutely, especially by the end. The ending was very smooth there, as you said, finding that offense very much in their favor. It's just really good stuff here right off the bat.
Yeah, no, very, very beautiful coming out. And now Solo Q have got to find an answer. They're going to be able to pick the map mode that they want against the Lush. They have to consider what Lush was coming out here. They were coming out with a Tri Nouveau. They were coming out with Zecco Fins. So something to stop that more aggressive, cooler comp that allows, the backline to switch on something that's not pencil is definitely what they're going to want to do. A map mode that Tri Nouveau can't work the best in. So not anything like Flounder, no Mako, no Humpback. They're not looking for those maps. And if they do, that Tri Nouveau is going to be even more powerful than it is on Mahi.
Oh goodness. Yeah, it's just as you said, anything but those ledge-based maps here. So maybe something a little more linear, if anything, to help out. Well, they both have charger backlines, so really even linear maps will go for both ways. Counter picking is a little bit interesting because you kind of have to pick pick your poison. Some of these maps are going to benefit both teams, but how can you lessen the other team's effects here? Even if it means you're taking a little bit of a hit yourself, but
Definitely something to consider. Probably something that's more long range favored, because even something like Undertow that's more linear, still very good for something like Tri Nouveau, because it favors those short range weapons. We usually see cooler players beforehand switching off of their pencils or their no, they still play heavy edit on there, but definitely switching off the pencil. And here we go, Clamblitz on Scorch Gorge. Gonna be a nice neutral map mode, not really favoring anything in particular, and definitely not going to be a map where those short range weapons or those AoE weapons can really go crazy. Still gonna be solid weapons, but not their map.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think this is our first time seeing Clamblitz on stream as well. Our first Clamblitz of our games today, which is going to be very interesting. I want to see how these teams are going to play it out. Again, I'm always paying attention to backline, so I'm expecting they're going to stay. I wonder if that Rapid Pro Deco is going to stay playing, because they literally just have the power to move a bunch of people out of the way just with a bit of a blast.
I feel like that Rapid Deco could stick. It's a very solid AoE weapon, and it has very nice range. On a map like this, you definitely want that, and the Inkjet could be very good for starting some pushes. Definitely better than some other specials you can get on those midline AoE weapons. Like Range Blaster is nice, but you're dealing with a Wave Breaker. Not really what you want. And now, of course, CRB is coming out soon enough. Very excited for that with Kraken. Though Kraken definitely needs some help. It's not in the best spot right now.
They got the mad nerf with the jump, but even then, it can make its fair share of space. That thing just being invincible on top of that and just taking some insta kills close range, it definitely does force people to be wary at most, if anything. So still powerful special, but not what it was.
Yeah, no, not what it was, but either way, it is going to be battle time as we're going to be going into the second game here, seeing if Solo Q can pick up the pieces and try to figure things out, or if Lush is going to be continuing their winning streak. Seeing the comps coming out here, we're seeing the Splat, Dooley, 96 Deco, and Tri Nouveau. Both teams actually going to be going for the Tri Nouveau here. Both teams going for the Doolies too. It's only two weapons on either comp that's going to be different, but both teams do have the Zuko. It's going to be the match of if the 96 with that Kraken is going to be able to cheese Clamblitz, not as well as it used to, but still find something, or if the very, very old Clamblitz cheese of an Inkbrush will be able to come out on top.
Anything goes here. Also, I love to see that squeezer pick as well from the side of Solo Q. Squeezer's an absolute menace in terms of its range, but it's like they have answers to each other, and I think that's going to be very interesting to see on the field. But it looks like it's also going to be Lush that has the first member down, giving a small man advantage here to Lush. Solo Q, excuse me, and there's Lush coming in, trying to make some waves, but that is still 2 down on Lush right now. Solo Q finding their way, is getting that clam, but it's going down on top of it. They gotta get this in if they want to make some points here. It might be better to not back off as they continue to get picked here. Seeing that wall come out, just make their way. First clam of the game in the favor of Solo Q right now.
Yeah, Solo Q doing very well for themselves. Lush, though, is going to be closing out this defense, making sure Solo Q, they're able to get that super clam in, but they're not going to get much more than that, as Lush is now going to be pushing up Woods, just ending their crab tank, trying to take this top mid here, trying to find what they can do, but that killer whale is going to prove to be a very tough adversary as they're just running every way they can. Woods trying to stay alive here, but Carlos is going to be having the Zuka at the ready. They could shut down Lush here, going to take out XYL with just their main weapon, preserving their Zuka here, trying to pick off Sky, trying to find the range with 2 specials on the ready for solo queue. Lush have got to find a way to stop this push. We're going to see the cooler coming out. The Squeezer still having that Zuka. Typo trying to back up a little bit. Crab Tank coming out from Lush right now. Woods ending it once again, getting their way under the clan basket here, but one's right behind them going down. But it's 2 down on the side of Lush, but it's 2 down on the side of solo queue too.
And with the rest of the members of Lush trying to make their way in, trying to get their man advantage right back here, they still have that clam up and ready to go, as well as a Kraken. So losing their members is not the best of options. Unfortunately, that clam going down. They do have 3 up, but solo queue is definitely looking at the people advantage. Solo queue is still actually at a general advantage here, especially with that score. Even if it's just by a bit here, Lush does have to make some moves soon, at least before that 230 counter. And doing moves, they shall. Oh, getting that clam right, and just takes 2 clams to take this lead, and doing so they do. I love to see this crab out here to make a lot more space for their teammates here, but solo queue is not going to try to let that happen for too long, as they are trying to defend their basket as much as they can. Depending if they do, it takes 1 power clam to switch the lead here for solo queue.
That is definitely what they want to do. Just 1 power clam could turn the tables in the favor of solo queue, but Lush is looking to try to hold it as much as possible. Kraken at the ready. Wait, 2 down on the side like solo queue. This could be something, but Sky is going to be going down before that Kraken can come out. Seeing that Typos is going to be using this crab tank to try to hold their basket as much as possible. Inca not finding a way in, but going onto the grates, trying to find some paint, not going to be able to. Cooler almost at the ready. Inca has got to stay alive for a little bit longer, and this killer whale is going to be making a hard time for that. But here we go. Cooler coming out for Lush, but this Brush trying to come right behind. Not going to find anything though. Ray's trying to come in. Typos on the grates, going to be able to get in the base of Lush here, trying to find something to happen, but Sky is trying to hold them off. Typo having to jump out of their base into mid. Not going to be doing good for them, as Carlos is holding their Zuka once again, trying to find the right opportunity. Going to find Sky with that Zuka pick and trying to find this crab tank coming out. Not finding it though, as it's going to be going to an expire. And Woods is up here at this basket right now. They just need 1 clam in order to make it super, and they're going to be able to. And there we go, getting it down to 67, able to take out 1, leaving Sky the last one alive here. They have to take off Allegro to continue their streak. Going to be able to, and with 40 seconds left on the clock, it's more and more dire right now for solo queue, as Lush is going to be able to keep a hold further and further, especially with Sky blocking out Typo from anything they can do.
For sure, for sure. The rest of the members of Lush are up and on their way, just barely getting out with their life. They're jumping out, but it looks like we're back in this bit of more of a neutral state as both teams are trying to find some sort of advantage again. More pressure towards solo queue, who is not currently in the lead. They do need around, I think it's a power clam or 2. A power clam and a clam. No, yeah, a power clam and a clam, and they should be able to take the lead as members are slowly going down here. Again, this is solo queue's last chance to try and even the score set with Lush, but wait! They got the jump!
Get the jump! They need 1 more clam! 1 more clam! Are they going to be able to find it in this overtime? No, they are not. The Kraken coming in clutch for Lush. That was so close there. A surprise flank with that super clam coming up from solo queue, but they did not have the continuation.
Oh my goodness, from a 1 clam difference made and broke the game here. Lush taking home the game by a hair.
That was absolutely beautiful defense from Lush, especially at the end. Absolutely beautiful. Coming out, and now solo queue are not in the very best spot. They're down 0-2. If they lose 1 more game, it's down to the losers bracket. They have to figure out something, especially with their counter pick, or it's gonna be GG's.
GG's. But even then, it was a incredibly close game here. So really, anything can go into this game 3. I think the fun thing about these longer sets is that these teams have a little bit more time to adjust to each other and, well, the playstyles, the enemy team, their weaknesses, their strengths. And I want to see if they're going to be able to turn the tides here with just by how it was by a hair this game.
I mean, yes, it was by a hair. So we're gonna be seeing if it could be by a hair in these next few games, and if Solo Q is gonna be able to come back. We saw that Solo Q does love to play with those short range comp too. They pulled out that Tri-Nouveau, they pulled out those Splat Dualies. They definitely love those short range pick options too. So they might consider a short range option for Tri. Pretty much the opposite of what I was saying earlier. They might want that because they've shown they like playing those weapons.
Absolutely here. It honestly, again, every time we think it's short range, I always think of that Tri-Sasha or the shots, just the shooters TM. Anything, those maps that we said that Lush, not me, ooh, excuse me, those short range shooters, like those maps, like Humpback, those maps are going to be a lot more in their favor.
Yeah, especially like stuff like Humpback, Flounder's a very popular one. Mako more so the popular one. I can imagine a Mako Mart map could be very, very divisive. But of course, it is up to the hands of Solo Q. Losing in your counter pick is definitely not what you want to see. You picked that map mode surely for you to get an advantage, but that advantage did not happen. And now you're sitting here wondering if we do have a trump card, if we have something that the other team is not going to be expecting that we know firsthand, like the back of our own hands.
Own hands indeed. Well, only time is going to tell which map is in our favor, as it's going to take a while to take a decision, especially for Solo Q here where they're down 2 games. But that decision, I think, I thought came to an end. It did come to an end here. Splatoon's Robo Ramen. Yo, wait. This map, my mad beloved. I love this map, not only for the flanks it has underneath, but it's just a lot of open space in the center, so you can still run your backlines and you can still run those short ranges that want to go in for flanks. It is a mad playground. It's a good map, especially on zones.
Yeah, I don't know a single person who doesn't love this map. This map is very, very universally loved by everybody in the community, and that's seeing it here because we're seeing Splatzone's Robo Ramen being the match point for this second round, as all these teams are going to be deciding their weapons and their comps. This is the map mode that's going to be deciding everything. I imagine we're going to be seeing something, even a pencil spamming their main weapon and that sprinkler on the bottom of the ramen bowl. I imagine we're going to be seeing that here.
I would not be surprised at all. Pencil on zones is just an absolute menace here. Just being able to sit back, paint over that zone. I think the fun thing about Pencil is that you don't exactly need kills to get value. It's a lot more supportive than any other charger we've seen, and that can definitely be utilized here, especially on Splat Zone. Splat Zone is the biggest showing of Pencil's power in that case. From the sprinkler, it's a turf heavy charger, and we love to see it. Pencil on chip comps is also really fun, by the way. My mad beloved.
Yeah, no, it is really nice. Pencil chip comps with a bunch of like mid-range, either AoE or just weapons that get really easy picks. Those are always the best things to see. And here we go. We're going into this third match here. This could be match point for round 2 of Low Ink Alpha Bracket. Seeing the comps coming out here today, we're going to be seeing the Forge Pro, the Custom Blaster 2 coming out from Lush. And on the side of Solo Q, opting to stick to that comp we saw last game. But it's very interesting coming out from Lush, a Custom Blaster with that triple splashdown. Forge Pro for that Booyah Bomb mid-range option for a pick gun, and that custom E-leader 2 for some Kraken.
Oh my goodness, that leader makes me very excited here because this is our first leader of the set here. But oh my goodness, already seeing the zone in the favor of Lush, making their way through. Again, this range of the leader is going to prove a lot of pressure. Seeing that cooler up and ready for Lush as well, it looks like they're ready to make an offense if they can find that opportunity. The crab from Solo Q trying to make more space for the teammate, trying to stop Lush from getting these points down any further. Specials coming out left and right, but it's going to be Solo Q that actually goes down a member. Lush still holding the zone, but taking down the anchor is a huge hit for Solo Q being able to neutralize the zone, but Lush just continues to hold it back. They're just taking it back. They are going to be trying to go straight for the knockout, but it's just Solo Q doing everything they can to try and stop that from becoming a reality. The Rush finding a pick right then there, just barely, there we go, the zone flipping sides in the favor of Solo Q here for the first time.
Solo Q finally taking this zone, but they have a mountain to get across. Trying to get it from 100 all the way to 30 is going to be a tough feat, but Solo Q is going to find a way to get that to happen. We're seeing Carlos here trying to find the picks, going straight into the spawn. Oh, the Lush trying to find something here, though Sky with this E-leader, with this Kraken, trying to find something, not going to be able to. Allegro trying to push up on them, but no, Sky
of Solo Q, but they're going to be going down themselves. Sky trying to do something. Carlos coming in with the Zuka, getting the paint on the board, trying to get the paint in their favor, trying to stop some Lush from getting any more points, and there we go. Solo Q taking it, but Sky is trying to get the pick. There we go. Typo's going to be going down, 2 down once again on Solo Q. Lush keeping it. Sky keeping themselves alive once again with that Kraken. Woods having their Booyah Bomb at the ready, waiting just a little bit, bombing the members of Solo Q out. Even with everything going on, this Killer Whale might shred the Booyah Bomb. It's not going to be able to, as Woods is going to be able to get it off, but not before one of their members is going to be going down, and the zone is back in neutral. But Lush is holding on for dear life to the zone here. They want to get past the penalty, and there we go. They're starting to make more points, even with this Crab Tank coming out from Solo Q. They're staying on the zone. They're staying on the paint for as much as they can.
Solo Q, the better here for Lush, especially when the points tend to tick out incredibly quickly, and from immediately taking the zone back from Solo Q as well. They are making waves, moving their way in with this cooler down especially. There are a lot more risks that can be taken here if you are Lush. If you want to hold this, you definitely can. And with the quick respawn and beacon, they are looking at a really solid lockout here from the Kraken, maneuvering some of the members. And there's a quick jump on top of that, just going straight back into position here. Lush is looking to themselves in a really good position, but with the Crab coming out from Solo Q, this is one of their last-ditch efforts to try and stop the zone from going into a knockout duel with the camp, but Lush is adamant on keeping the score to a knockout. Lush finishing the set 3-0.
Lush coming in, even with an unorthodox comp like that, with the Custom Blaster and Forge Pro, but saying, nah, we got this. We're taking out this comp that Solo Q is coming in with, and are going to be taking the set 3-0, moving on to the third round of Alpha Bracket. That is going to be absolutely beautiful coming out from Lush. Of course, both these teams did really well, but it's going to be Lush moving on to winners semifinals for the Alpha Bracket.
I got incredibly good stuff. I want to talk a little bit about Lush here on their comp at the end, because I think it was very interesting, because usually we don't see leaders and blasters paired together, but I think between the pressure of the leader forcing a Solo Q to play on their toes, and then just the blaster being able to come in and capitalize off that, or just the rest of the members in general, I think it made Lush's time a lot easier. And they honestly, they did amazing that last game, especially. Just good stuff as they move on.
Yeah, beautiful stuff all around. They're going to be moving on against a team called the Blaeksprutter, if I'm saying that correctly, in the winners semis of Alpha. But of course, Solo Q still has a chance. They're actually going to be going up against 789 that we saw in the first round. 789 did really, really well, but they lost, of course, as we saw before, to Howdy Hat Pirates. But they're starting to make a losers run, taking out Insomniac Central in losers bracket round 1, and now going up against Solo Q in round 2. But that's not what we're going to be seeing soon. We're going to be seeing winners semis in just a little bit, so don't go anywhere, as we're going to be back right here with Alpha Semis. Hello, everybody, and we are here, Low Inc. May 2024 Alpha Bracket Winner Semifinals. I am NM, joined here by Fufu, as we're going to be going into Clairvoyance versus ZESTFEST. If you want to know what that picture says for Clairvoyance, it's 6 ways to gain confidence. Learn to kill, 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 and tax evasion.
Tax evasion. It's you know, you gotta clear the mind with a little bit of tax evasion. But honestly, we have a funny profile picture, and then we have the name ZESTFEST. Dog, I love the vibes these teams have going on. This is chaotic to its max, and I absolutely live for it. We love to see it. I'm very curious about these teams' comps anyways, because this is my first time seeing both of these teams personally. Especially when we're starting on Hagglefish zones. Okay.
Hagglefish zones, definitely a very popular map mode, especially on Splat zones. So we're definitely going to be seeing a lot of specials, especially strikes. If we're going to be a Slosher or a Zekofin or even a T-Tech going to be flying onto that zone. But I know both of these teams are going to be trying to fight with each other. The aggression is what we see a lot in this meta alongside Cooler. We're definitely going to be seeing both the aggression and the Cooler coming out here.
Absolutely, for sure. And it's Hagglefish zones, so we know there's a non-zero chance we might end up painting the zone for a good 30 seconds. Especially, it's a very linear map. So as you said, we'll be seeing either the more aggressive comps, or wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of backline action going on back here. But I just heard the battle ding. We're going to be finding that out in just a second here.
Yep, as we're getting into this first match of the semis for the winners bracket, for Alpha bracket, seeing the comps coming out, seeing a V Machine, Snipe Rider, some standard stuff from the other side, seeing a Wiper come out of Flowers. You don't see Wiper a lot more nowadays than you did beforehand. It was very popular at the start of Splatoon 3, but since it's died down, again, a product of the Cooler meta, and a lot more weapons getting up to the speed that Wiper used to be very unique for.
Still a very fun weapon in general, so I'm curious to see how they're gonna pull this off. But it seems like each team has at least one weapon that can pair up their pencil as well, which is gonna be very fun. But that Zuka coming out, already finding a pick here in the favor of ZESTFEST, making their way through here, already having the zone in their favor. On top of that, losing a member while they're at it, so this might just be a zone flip. Yep, a zone flip in the favor of Clairvoyance. We're already off the pad. It is going to be a bloodshed on top of that, with members starting to go down on each side.
Yeah, members are going down left and right here. We see CC trying to paint as much as possible with this Snipe Rider here, as Curie is pushing and trying to get on the left side. They know Flowers is there. The Ultra Stamp, though, going to be coming out, protecting Flowers for a little bit, making sure no one wants to mess with that Ultra Stamp, as they're going to be coming in on this left side, but two down right now on the side of ZESTFEST is not going to be a good sign for them, as Clairvoyance are setting up very nicely. Silver doing whatever they're doing right there, just sharking, trying to wait for their teammates to come in. But both Emma and Anaya are right here on this canopy. Emma, they're going to be zooked out, as we see Lucio here on the 96 with the Kraken. Flowers trying to paint with the Ultra Stamp here, trying to get the pick's going to be able to shred Anka's Booyah Bomb. The paint is so close to them, but the triple splashdown is going to be stalling it out for Clairvoyance to make their way back in. Silver, though, going to be able to take out this Nautilus, as Curie is trying to keep the paint up for Clairvoyance, going to be able to still take the zone. The members of ZESTFEST have got to find the paint now or never, and Lucio with this Kraken coming in might be it, but no, it's not enough. But they're able to take down two, but they're not able to connect, and that's going to be the first game going to Clairvoyance. The Kraken doing really good at getting the picks, but that's not going to paint the zone.
That was insanely tight at the end. ZESTFEST just barely missing the possible neutral zone there at the end. The Kraken was a really good idea of finding two, but the two that Clairvoyance was able to get off of that Zuka, and just the splashdown from the knot, incredibly well done and well placed even to help solidify that win in the first match. Insane stuff.
Yeah, Clairvoyance came out and they went all the way to the enemy canopy. That's showing you that they're aggressing. They're getting the picks. They want ZESTFEST out of here as soon as possible. And now it's up to ZESTFEST to try to figure out what map mode they want. And you can see in the replay here just how powerful they were. Even when ZESTFEST were able to get that zone in neutral so much, Clairvoyance was always right on top of the zone with either Curie or the Nautilus or something to be able to keep it in their favor. With everything that ZESTFEST put on the zone, especially at the end there, it was never ever enough for the zone to even get into a penalty, and because of that, Clairvoyance was able to take the first game, and now it is up to ZESTFEST to try to figure out a strategy and a game plan, especially since the ball's in their court for the map mode.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting here because it looks like some of their comps are, well, so we have I remember the Not pencil from Clairvoyance, and I remember because ZESTFEST has the pencil, the gals, the wiper on top of that. So I want to see what maps work with something like wiper is the bigger question. But the questions are actually gonna come to a quick stop because they already went ahead and picked Clamblet Scorch Gorge, which we saw earlier. We're seeing a little bit of a rerun back here.
Yeah, I mean, again, a nice neutral map mode that could favor either team. Doesn't really favor a specific weapon in general. A lot of weapons feel very solid here. It's Clamblitz on Scorch Gorge. A lot of teams love this. So I don't imagine it's going to be very in the favor of one or the other. A very solid counter pick coming out there from ZESTFEST.
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like this can go two ways because we saw Clairvoyance have a really solid hold of not only the zone, but they were able to push all the way up. And I wonder if we're going to see that same song and dance with Clairvoyance of being able to push all the way up into ZESTFEST space, or if ZESTFEST is going to retaliate and try to do the same thing Clairvoyance did to them in Hagglefish Market. But again, this is going to be interesting because we have the holding strategies that we have from Splat Zones to Clamblets, where we actively have to send someone, collect your materials and get that economy going, but still being able to hold that space is what we saw really shine from Clairvoyance.
Clairvoyance knows how to keep their own space, and especially in a chokehold like the basket area is on Scorch Gorge, they're going to be defending that with their life, and on top of that, pushing into ZESTFEST's own choke point right there. They're going to need to get the specials, and that Nautilus with triple splashdown alongside the shot machine combo might be able to do it. But with all these teams coming in here, all these players reddening up, they're just vitalizing their comps right here. Clairvoyance trying to think of a way to make sure that, there's no surprises coming out from ZESTFEST. ZESTFEST readied up right away, so we might not see that different of a comp coming out, but either way, we're going to wait and see in just a little bit.
Yeah, we're definitely playing that waiting game, waiting for the one singular player to ready up here in the lobby. I don't blame them either. Trying to make sure. Well, they shoved me right up as they click the ready button. We're gonna see what they're gonna bring out. I want to see Clairvoyance is gonna bring out any major comp changes as we enter the battle once more. Let's take a peek. Okay, so that Not a machine. It looks like Clairvoyance has practically the same comp, and I don't think there's any comp changes. No, the gal changed a little bit. We see a 52 instead.
Looking to get rid of that Kraken in modern Clan Blitz. That's not really something to worry about. If you don't want a Kraken, you don't want a Kraken. It's not something that's required anymore, and of course 52 is definitely a lot stronger than 96 Deco right now, especially with its Wall of Whale kit. It is going to be very powerful, especially with the cooler buffs coming out for Lucio, them just trying to paint for their killer whale, and now they're going to be finding a way in with their teammate Zuka. Lucio absolutely rushing in, going to be able to take out Curie, another going down. Flowers coming in alongside them, and here we go. The first points are actually going to be going to ZESTFEST. So many points on the board right now, getting it down to 59, but Flowers is still right under the basket. They're, though, going to be going down. Hot Doodle opting just back out a little bit, saying, this is not worth it. I do not want to play that far from my life. I want my cooler, but that is a really solid first push coming out for ZESTFEST.
Oh, absolutely. ZESTFEST came back absolutely retaliating with confidence of mad lads, and we love to see it as we turn to a little bit more of a neutral position as Clairvoyance is getting the materials together, trying to find a way to enter ZESTFEST's base as they are currently one down, and, again, these specials are chaining coming out. ZESTFEST dropping their cooler to try and help them with a little bit more defense. This economy slowly building up here in the favor of Clairvoyance. I think they should be able to push this very soon here. if fate allows, and fate definitely does allow them to get that first climb into the basket, still setting themselves up, still having 4 up and ready to go. But they, again, we have to get some climbs in the basket if they want to keep this open, and it will be closing, but they are still holding at the foot of ZESTFEST base here.
Yeah, they at least got a first push in there, get some points on the board, and they know how they want to get back in. Curie trying, though, to stay alive from the Zuka. Not going to happen, though, as CC is trying to paint as much as possible for their team here, trying to get this cooler at the ready with 2 done on ZESTFEST. This is looking very nice for Clairvoyance to try to find a way back in, especially with the Snipe Rider almost having their cooler at the ready. Anka here on the V machine, a very solid slosher that we see in the meta right now, trying to get the pick on Flowers. They know Flowers is right on top of them. They know someone's on the right. The Booyah Bomb is at the ready, but this Killer Whale might pick them off, absolutely shredding the armor on that Booyah, but not going to be enough. Flowers going to be going down to that Booyah Bomb as Anka's going to be pushing up on Hot Doodle, trying to get this Snipe Rider out of there. The Killer Whale, though, coming in clutch as we're seeing Silver on the shot, pushing up as much as they can, going straight for CC. This could be a good chance for somebody to jump in with them, but no, that's not going to happen. The cooler, though, going to be coming out for ZESTFEST. ZESTFEST right now doing a very nice job of shutting down that anything that Clairvoyance wants to do.
Yeah, it's very nice to see because they have a bunch of turf control on top of this, so they might just be able to get another push and seeing all 4 of their members up and running still and putting further pressure onto Clairvoyance's basketball spawn area here. So that path is clearing its way with a hammer, calling even further. That clamp is going right in, and with the jumps on top of that, those teammates are coming in like a calling call, just slowly trickling these clamps in, making the score gap even higher. Again, this cooler on top of that Clairvoyance does have to defend this, but also ZESTFEST does have to get a couple clamps in if they want to keep this open. But I think that's the end of that push for now as the basket closes.
Yep, basket is going to close as Curie, Emma, and the rest of Clairvoyance have got to find an answer for the newfound aggression coming out from ZESTFEST. They haven't really been able to make much damage to ZESTFEST basket, and with Flowers trying to get into top mid here, sharking Anka's Booyah Bomb, it's not looking good for them. Anka, though, able to escape with their life from Flowers, but they know Flowers is here somewhere. The Zuka trying to find them, not going to be able to. That Zuka might be a bit wasted here. Cooler, though, going to be coming out for Clairvoyance, going to do very nice for them. But Curie is going to be going down as Flowers and Lucio are just running for the competition right now. Flowers right under the basket. This could be really nice for a jump or for a clam to be coming in. Her Doodle going to be able to put it in.
Oh my goodness, another score in here in the favor of ZESTFEST. Very lovely here, just as Clairvoyance seems to have a lot of the middle here in their favor on top of that. Here's that cooler again. They're reaching some of their last opportunities to try and take this game back. An excellent double shot here from CC to the other anchor, which puts them at a pretty solid advantage as they lose their backbone on ZESTFEST. So this might just be able to be another in with some extra picks here. Clairvoyance might be able to take this. These clams trickling in from them. This is their one and only opportunity to get in here and try and take this lead. Only some clamps left over, and with the power cut coming in with the jump, Clairvoyance taking the game.
That was beautiful coming out from Clairvoyance. The entire time, it looked like ZESTFEST game with that last push into that jump coming out from the shot. Anka putting in the work, holding it down, and that's going to be the second win for Clairvoyance, putting ZESTFEST in a tough spot because ZESTFEST right now needs to reverse sweep if they want to continue in the winner's bracket, but if not, they're going to be knocked down the losers.
A lot of pressure onto ZESTFEST right now. I'd be feeling a little bit nervous, especially after a win was definitely taken right at the very end. Clairvoyance's determination is incredibly strong here. So is ZESTFEST, because as we saw ZESTFEST especially during the beginning of this match, they went in with utmost confidence, and we're definitely not scared of Clairvoyance despite their dominant knockout of the game before. And I think, anything can happen. I think it's still definitely in the cards for ZESTFEST to try and make something happen the rest of the set, but Clairvoyance is definitely looking at a much more advantageous score. As the replay comes by, seeing the last 8 seconds of the match here, we might be able to just see the jump happen that won Clairvoyance the game. That was an incredible jump, as just all the stars aligned for them right there at the end.
Yep, Flowers was right in mid. Maybe if Flowers was on that basket trying to pick off Anka and the rest of Clairvoyance, that might have been a different story, but no, they were not. They were in mid trying to make sure that nobody was going to be coming up to the basket, but they did not know that that sloshing machine was right in there, that they were trying to find something that they could do, and because of that, ZESTFEST is not looking too hot right now, as Clairvoyance has a really, really nice spot, and they're going to be trying to find, the map mode that might work for them, because Clamblett, Scorch Gorge, ZESTFEST did pick that. ZESTFEST didn't find the sauce there, and now they got to figure out what really will get them that win.
The hunt for the sauce continues on as we wait for their counter pick here. Yeah, I don't blame them for taking a little bit to try and go over all their options. Again, I have been shushed immediately by the teams putting their counter pick on target control. Huh? It's not in the pool? No, okay, we got a call that it's not in the pool. I have not been shushed just yet.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to continue with Mako, if they're going to play like Zones Mako, or if they're just going to go with a completely different map. No, it's possible. It's possible because ZESTFEST did not win on Zones. Clairvoyance did. So it's still definitely possible for them to choose a Zones map if they do want to play on Mako. So anything goes. I'm curious. I want to see what they're gonna bring out here, because Scorch definitely looked to be a pretty confident map mode as well.
Yeah, no, they definitely wanted Tower Mako, but of course that's not in the cards. But they actually wanted to stick with Tower Control, saying, Mako Mart's nice, but Inkblot Art Academy is nicer. The final destination, even after all this time in the Splatoon series, Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3, you can see the map pool right here. Inkblot is an option. Mako's not an option. Mako, you can only do Splat Zones or Clamblets. I've seen Clamblets Mako for a long time, so that would be interesting to see if a team were to pick that, maybe in the winners finals. But either way, Tower Control is going to be played for this third match on Inkblot Art Academy.
Goodness, I have an absolute love-hate relationship with Inkblot Art Academy here, especially on Tower, because Tower Control, we all know how snowbally Inkblot Art Academy can get. It's another one of those maps where you're stuck in middle for a while, but once you pass a certain point, it is go time. And I want to see which one of these teams is going to try and reach that point first.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to see that too. It can definitely be snowbally, but I know both of these teams are going to be fighting for a while in mid to see who's going to be getting that first push. But either way, it's going to be up to whoever's the more aggressive. Clairvoyance showing in these past 2 games that they have the aggression, they have the fighting power, they have the firepower, and it's going to be up to the members of ZESTFEST to try to find something to counteract that.
Oh no, absolutely. Especially with Clairvoyance sitting at the confidence of winning a game last second and having 2-0 on the set. We have 2 very different moods going on here for each team. But again, both of them have the power to do anything their hearts desire here. And I want to see which team is going to be pulling through on Tower Control. We are, again, waiting for a little bit of a ready up to happen. The one sole member waiting for the check mark.
Yep, we're just gonna have to wait and see as these members are readying up. Just a few seconds left on the board. Curie just trying to figure out what they want to do once again, and there we go. Here we go. The match point. Is it going to be a sweep for Clairvoyance, or is ZESTFEST going to start to make a comeback with a reverse sweep? It's going to be decided here on Tower Control Inkblot Art Academy.
Yep. Can't stay the same, it seems. Actually, I'm a liar. They're pulling a double shot Pental Slosher. What? I just got boomed with a bit of a flashback at the beginning of like the Zuka meta. Holy crap from ZESTFEST. This is their last ditch comp change effort here. But I do like to see that Slosher to get those ledges. But Clairvoyance is going to get that first man advantage, taking one of the shots off of ZESTFEST right off the bat. Lucio being able to clean up the pick. Oh, and cleaned up by the pencil. On top of that, already Goodies getting themselves set up on the stack with that Zuka, trying to find a pick. Barely missing it with that Zuka. Of course, Zuka hitbox is a little bit silly here in the House of Commons, but it seems we are still in the Zuka position. The tower only barely being tapped here by Clairvoyance as Fire tries to make some move. It is cleanup and it is bloodshed, but it still ends up with 3 down currently on Clairvoyance. Back fast, I believe, with the power of Cooler, but ZESTFEST is going to be moving along this tower as the rest of the team starts to move up. Again, their Cooler coming up and ready. They are preparing themselves for war as they are moving this tower.
Yeah, they're preparing themselves for war here as Sober is pushing up into the bats immediately with the rest of their team, trying to get the picks, able to get the wipeout on Clairvoyance. That's definitely not what they want to see right now, as Hot Doodle is going to be able to take out that second check there. Emma trying to find a way in. They have a triple splashdown at the ready, but they need to find a way to get that in. They're going to be opting to go for a little bit of a flank, but they're going to have to go fast. The Booyah Bomb coming out, the triple splashdown coming out. All of these specials looking to get the members of them off the tower, but it's not going to work as the third check is shredded. CC going to be going down, and that's the third game going to ZESTFEST in an 100-0 sweep right off the bat. ZESTFEST showing that they're coming here to play today.
They are coming to play indeed. ZESTFEST did not waste a single second when the opportunity showed himself, pushing the tower, getting a wipeout on top of that. And despite the specials that were being thrown at them, they were constant with it. They got on the tower, stuck it through, and knocked it out. What? That's insane! They are not out yet.
Yeah, no, they're not out just yet. They got a little more fighting power, and now the ball, for once, is in Clairvoyance's court. They're trying to get a reverse sweep going here. Everybody in the audience, ZESTFEST wants this reverse sweep, but they're going to need a little bit more to get it. They got that first win, but they need 2 more in order to take home the gold in this set.
No, absolutely. I feel like ZESTFEST might have been able to take Clairvoyance by a little bit of surprise with this match alone, because ZESTFEST, as we saw, not only from this amazing game that we just saw, from the last game, when their openings are, all right, if we're going, we're going to go. And that seems to go, like, if they have number in power, like power's in number, excuse me. We turned that a little bit. Power numbers, and we definitely saw that not only this last game, which Clairvoyance did win, but we saw the inklings of that, and to tower control, where we saw it in practically full force.
That's really what we saw there, and it's going to be a challenge. Them trying to decide the map mode again in Clairvoyance's court this time around. We did see the map pool just a bit before. There's a lot of options for them to pick. But now they know that they got some wins under their belt against ZESTFEST. But there are some map modes that they know work, at least some maps or some modes they know they can do well, and maybe stay away from tower control now.
It's just like maybe not tower control. I believe by the rules of counter picks, if I am not mistaken, Clairvoyance is not allowed to pick Splatoons or Clamblets on their modes, so they are stuck with either tower or Rainmaker as her next choices, if I'm not mistaken here.
Yeah, so they have the options of either Tower or Rain, and they're going to opt for Rainmaker on Crab Leg Capital.
This map so much. Okay, Crab Leg Capital, the grace on this map just provide so many more opportunities. This is probably one of the better map modes in maps TM in Splatoon, in my opinion. Rainmaker and Splatoons are absolute godsends on this map, and we're seeing one of them here with Rainmaker.
Yep, we're seeing one of them with Rainmaker. I know that these teams are going to be going through that left side, not the great path, because it's a little more reliable. There's actual swimmable ink that you can go through to get the checkpoint instead of running across up the grades. And of course, we used to see ink facts a lot in the past, especially from Ballpoint Nouveaux when this map first started to become a thing. But of course, ink vac is not in the best spot right now. So both that route and that special have really dropped off because of it. So I imagine teams are just going to be going straight forward for that check.
Absolutely. And honestly, from what we've seen from ZESTFEST, I wouldn't be surprised, as you said, just going straight for the checkpoint right off the bat, try to, you know, open up your opportunities as quick as you can here. Again, as we are almost, all our members are almost ready. I'm staring at the one again. Oh, they knew this time. They got stared at. They're like, all right, I guess I'm readying up. They put their hands up. All right, we're readying up, and we're going to be going right into it here, seeing what these teams have to pick.
Yep, gonna be seeing the comps coming out. This could be match point, potentially seeing the comps, the Neo Machine coming out for Clairvoyance. It's actually going to be coming out on both sides here. Both of them opting to go for that nice AoE with the Zuka. Double Zuka on the side of Clairvoyance, and on both sides too, actually, because both of them have the shots, both of them have the pencils. It's going to be the Nautilus versus the Splash in terms of uniqueness here.
So absolutely, both of these teams finding their way to middle, slowly getting their specials up and ready. Already seen that Zuka coming up from ZESTFEST, trying to find a pick. Finding two! That is 3 down on Clairvoyance, ready off the bat. And here comes Lucio trying to find the last one from stopping any sort of, you know, whoa, pause. Before they could even get the checkpoint, they got stopped right there on the edge here by Emma. An amazing stop here from preventing ZESTFEST from having any more opportunities to push past whatever the checkpoint would allow.
Yeah, seeing Lucio coming out here with the Zuka, trying to find something here. Going to be able to find Emma, trying to swim up on the grates. As Lucio is going to be coming in on this left side, trying to help the rest of their team, trying to use their phone sensors to find out, you know, who's around them, who can we pick off here. Going to try, there we go. It's popped. The members of Clairvoyance trying to defend themselves from ZESTFEST. Though ZESTFEST is looking for this reverse sweep. They're looking for the picks right now. But Emma is going to be coming out with a triple splashdown, trying to find something. Not going to be able to, but opting to go for this check, swimming all the way to it. Going to be able to take it for Clairvoyance. The first check going to be going down as they're going to be trying to push it even further. Trying to pop this Rainmaker. You're going to be getting that Snipe Rider down as Anka's trying to push their way in. Not going to be able to. Flowers opting to protect their check, trying to come in here with the splash, with the crab take, trying to take somebody out. Really solid coming out from Clairvoyance, able to get that checkpoint, and now it is in the court of ZESTFEST, trying to find a way back in.
Oh no, absolutely right here. And it seems like ZESTFEST is going to be trying to get that checkpoint very soon, seeing Lucio here on the left one, setting themselves up under the ledge to try and just force any members of Clairvoyance out of the way. But that Rainmaker has not moved quite an inch, waiting for a better opportunity here on ZESTFEST. One down on each side. Zuka's out of the way now, and with the Zuka actually ready on the side of ZESTFEST, excuse me, finding a lovely pick on the shot. That checkpoint might be able to be grabbed here if you are ZESTFEST, but opting to rotate right instead when the members of Clairvoyance are moving left. This is honestly a better path in my opinion here if you are ZESTFEST, and I think they set themselves up relatively nicely here.
Yeah, no, very, very well. Getting that double, though, with the triple splashdown. Emma's coming in. Going to be able to wipe them out with that triple coming out. Very good. But Emma and the rest of Clairvoyance have got to find a way to get that lead back with just 2 minutes left on the clock. Fufu. They have got to find a way back in. What if the triple splashdowns are going to be coming out from Emma like if they were there stopping that entire push? They might be able to find the sauce.
It might be just the sauce may be found tonight. This is the sauce indeed. But this Rainmaker being popped in the favor of Clairvoyance once more here. Clairvoyance just has to push this Rainmaker a little bit if they want the lead. Again, less than 2 minutes on the clock here, and Emma just barely making it out in time. Again, we are seeing a little bit more of a middle play. Again, both of these teams, again, both of these teams trying to find their opportunities here. Lucio might be able to find it, seeing the members of Clairvoyance lined up with the Zuka, and a counter Zuka to try and stop it. That is almost... Ooh, Lucio getting sandwiched here by 2 members of Clairvoyance. Oh my, Clairvoyance is trying to make all the space that they can here, trying to set up all of their resources to try and get this lead, even if it means, you know, if it means just getting it at the end of the match, they're gonna try to do it anyways here. Maybe their opportunity here. ZESTFEST going 2 down, and another one on top of that, opting to take the left area. That is going to be a lead swap in the favor of Clairvoyance, and a wipeout in their favor.
This could be going even further, going all the way down to 5. That is going to be such a strong lead for Clairvoyance. And now Lucio and the rest of ZESTFEST are in a very, very bad spot. They basically have to knock out if they want to continue this push, but they might not be able to. There's very little time, and I already know Clairvoyance is opting to protect with all means necessary, but 2 down is not going to be good for them as ZESTFEST is already pushing up onto the Great Tier. Hot Doodle trying to find a way in there, getting it down to the 40, starting to make some points on the board. Silver going to be going down though. Hot Doodle going to be swimming in. Can they get it back? No, it's going to be going down to 9, but Lucio is right there. They're going to be trying to get the pop. Silver coming in with the jump. They just have to swim a little bit more, but Silver is going to be going down below, and Lucio is going to be getting picked off. That was so close, but they might not have it as Emma is opting to just run back and just preserve the Rainmaker, making sure nobody can come back in here. Flowers, though, might be trying to get right under them, but no. The Rainmaker is going to be lost last second. Flowers is going to be rushing alongside Hot Doodle to try to pick it up, to try to get the picks. Are they going to be able to do it? No, they are not, and Clairvoyance, in a very heated final match, is going to be taking the 3rd round, the semifinals of the Alpha Winners bracket, and going to be moving on to the Winners Finals.
Winner finals indeed. Again, an absolutely insane final match here of Clairvoyance versus, oh my goodness. That just, a fist bump on top of that, well deserved here. Just going to the 5 point and stopping ZESTFEST when they were just about to get as well, stopping them at 9. I'd be screaming in the call. That's all I'm saying.
I would be screaming too. That was an absolute insane match to watch, especially at the end there when Clairvoyance almost got taken out. ZESTFEST almost getting that lead somehow, even with all those points. Both of those teams coming in, as you can see in the replay. Hot Doodle coming on here to the check, and this was their first really solid push after that first initial one where Clairvoyance wasn't able to get much back. But this triple splashdown coming out from Emma was able to put in the work and put in the picks, getting Hot Doodle too just as they were getting some points. But really solid from both of these teams. Clairvoyance going to be moving on to winners finals against Lush, but it's not over for ZESTFEST as they're going to be waiting in the losers bracket right now. Going to be going up against 789 as 789 were able to take out both Solo Q and Starduck Inkstaters.
My god, we got some exciting matches up in front of us. Honestly, it's familiar names on top of that. I'm very excited to see where these rest of the matches are going to go. I am unsure. Are we what are we doing? We're gonna continue on here on mic, or is this the end of our block? Is my bigger question.
Yeah, we're just going to keep going, but with that, we're going to be going on quick short break, but don't go anywhere as winners finals for the Alpha bracket are going to be coming up in just a little bit. We'll see you there.
And we are back here with winners finals up and getting ready here for you guys on Low Ink. I am joined here by NM. Say hello.
Hello, everybody in the audience. We are here for winners finals. Clairvoyance had a really, really nice set as we just watched, as now they're going to be going up to secure the grand final spot against Lush. As we saw in that match versus Solo Q, they came to fight. Lush came to get the points. Solo Q were not able to get much of anything when we saw that match, and they're looking to continue that further and further. We're going to be seeing who's going to be coming up on top here. Of course, try to bet on their channel points. We love gambling, so gamble as much as you can, as we're going to be starting out. It seems to be on Splatzone's Robo Ramen once again.
We love a little bit of gambling, and we love an amazing map to start off with as well. We did see Splatzone's Robo Ramen a little bit earlier here, and as you guys may have already heard, we love the open space in the center, and as well as the flank options that this stage allows. So if you want to be a little silly, you want to be a rat, you can be a rat on this map. Anything is possible on Splatzone's Robo Ramen.
Yep, I mean, we did see Lush play here earlier with an unorthodox comp to boot. Custom E-Leader, Force Splattershot Pro, a custom blaster, and came out on top, making sure Solo Q could barely paint that zone, and I don't imagine it's going to be anything different here today. They are going to be looking to take home the ticket to Grands, any means necessary, but they're going up against Clairvoyance, who we just saw. They learned to kill, they evaded their taxes, and they came out on top in that last set. Both of these teams are going to be going up against each other, but only one can secure the grand final spot without needing that bracket reset.
Absolutely here. Both of these teams are going to have to mad fight for it here. Again, we have seen the strengths of these teams, and I'm very excited to see who's going to come out on top, and I'm more excited to hopefully see a custom leader on the side of Lush. Ooh, you want to take out the leader so bad. Ooh. I would love to see it again. I'm just very curious. I'm just like, as we saw before, these teams are strong, but who's coming out on top?
Yeah, no, both of these teams are very strong, but in terms of who's coming out on top, we're just going to have to wait and see on what both these teams want to bring to the table in terms of their comps, in terms of their playstyles, in terms of their weapons. I imagine with both of these teams, a lot of aggression is going to be coming out. They're constantly going to be scrapping, they're constantly going to be fighting, they're constantly going to be bashing, and then a cooler player, either like a Pencil or something else, is going to be in the pack, just making sure that their pack has so many coolers to boot.
Yeah, coolers are a really strong backbone if you want to either defend or offend. The risks are minimized. That's what's very fun about cooler. You can not only do you have the buffs, your risks are just minimized in general. You can either jump out of a situation, you can jump back in, you have your quick respawn. And I want to mention with Lush, if they have cooler, they also have what you saw last time. They had beacons to go along with it. So you're not only depending on one jump spot, but multiple. So I want to see how this is going to play out on each team as the timer has set and the bell has rung. Let the match begin soon.
Here we go. Winners finals, Alpha Bracket, Low Ink, May 2024. Lush versus Clairvoyance, seeing the comps coming out. The custom E-Leaders back alongside the custom blaster on the side of Lush. And we're seeing that Vanilla Machine come back for Clairvoyance for their standard comp alongside that Nautilus. Both teams going to be coming in to try to get the paint and try to get the victory. We'll see who come out on top, as the 52 is already down on the side of Lush, and the zone is already in Clairvoyance's favor.
Yeah, Clairvoyance having hold of that zone right off the bat, having the cooler on top of that. Again, that risk minimizer already off the bat, but already it's going to be kill for kill here. Each team losing one member, but it's going to be specials that are up and ready on the side of Lush that might be able to turn the zone soon. Finding two on Clairvoyance, already three. Almost, and basically a wipe with the last member forced to jump out here. Clairvoyance setting themselves in a very solid offensive position as the beacons, I believe, are getting set up at the back. It's just a lot of range, a lot of, you can chip them out, especially with that blaster. Lush is looking at a really good spot as the Blue Bomb just gets painted over here. But Clairvoyance doesn't seem to be done just yet with that splash down coming down, painting half the zone, taking two members out of Lush on top of that.
Oh! Absolute insane blaster pick, even trying to get shredded by the Nautilus. That is not stopping this custom blaster by going to town and getting the picks
Sky staying here, almost at their Kraken, it at the ready. Here we go, Kraken Royale coming onto the scene. They know where Anka is, trying to get the pick, but Anka is running for their life right now. Sky just trying to chase after them, but you're an E-leader in that vulnerable of a spot. That's not going to be going well for you, but they're going to be coming back. They're alive. The E-leader is safe as Lush is finding their way in, especially with the cooler coming out. Custom Blaster just, painting a little bit, and I know what they're painting for. They're painting for a triple splashdown to disrupt the members of Clairvoyance, especially as Lush is going to be getting the lead here.
And there's themselves in a really solid position here. Honestly, setting themselves with the range of the leader and the chip of the blaster, doing what they can here. But that Duke is going to be coming out from Clairvoyance, trying to find a pick. Actually finding a pick on that zap, and that is 2 down on Lush. This could be a really solid collapse here in the favor of Clairvoyance if they're able to track down the rest of the members. Finding one, only leaving the leader alive. Again, giving them a taste of their own medicine here. But that Kraken also coming out to force Clairvoyance back here, just trying to make that space here in Sky. But careful, because you are also a leader. Don't leave yourself in a vulnerable position. Barely getting out of there against the Wrath of the Knot. Almost finding a pick. That pick goes down. It is currently 3. There's 3 down on Clairvoyance. We blinked and they're gone.
Yep, Clairvoyance are in a bad spot right now, Fufu. Only CC left alive, and that triple splashdown is going to be taking so many more out. That's a triple coming out from the triple splashdown, leaving just Anka left alive. Ika going down to Anka, but Anka has got to find a way to get the rest of their team in there, but it's not looking good. So they have a Booyah Bomb, which could be what they need. Anka going in, Booyah Bomb coming out, throwing it right onto the zone. The penalty gone for Lush. Emma and the rest of Clairvoyance trying to find their way back in, trying to get the paint on the board, and there we go. They're going to be able to do it. They know that XYO is right there. Emma trying to get the pick on them, but Sky's going to be coming in to protect their teammate with this Kraken, trying to rush, but Curie able to get the pick with a charge rush, going to be able to take them out as Sky is going to be setting back up on the zone here, trying to pick off Cece, not connecting the shots though. XYL going to be going down here to Emma. A triple splashdown isn't effective. We know how powerful the triple splashdown is from Emma, but it's not going to be finding the picks though. Emma looking okay. Can we go on the right side? The blaster's going to be going right under you, making sure that you can't get out, but they're going to be able to paint the zone before 2 are going to be going down to that blaster shot, as the blaster's going to be triple splash downing, getting a third, and CC's going to have to jump out. Clairvoyance back in the situation they started off with just a bit ago.
Oh my goodness, yeah, Lush is coming in, just locking them out as best as they can. They did lose their anchor right here, so it might provide an opportunity for Clairvoyance to get it, and especially with a bit more pressure on. But with Blaster Figs coming out, they are pulling the points off of the counter right here, slowly inching their way to try and get a knockout.
And there we go. Knockout going to be going in the favor of Lush, showing that they want to get that spot in Grands any means necessary. And Clairvoyance, even with the momentum they had, is not going to stop them from that.
My goodness, Lush being able to take it right home. First game right in their favor. Again, putting themselves at a bit of advantage in terms of the set numbers here. Really good stuff here from Lush.
Yeah, no, really, really beautiful stuff coming out there from Lush, showing how much they love that triple splashdown coming out from the custom blaster and the Kraken coming out from the custom E-leader. We're going to be seeing what map mode Clairvoyance wants to pick. I don't imagine we're going to be seeing this comp again from Lush, because the match we did see him just a while ago, that comp was relatively unique with the custom blaster and the custom E-leader, specifically for Zones Ramen. So I'm not sure they're going to be coming back out with that, but who knows? They could be coming back out with that. They could favor that still. We're just gonna have to wait and find out.
Only way we might be seeing that comp again is if we get a counter pick from Clairvoyance that has zones on it, but I think the chances of that might be a little bit low, especially considering how close the zones match really was at some point, or for most of the match really when you think about it. So again, Clairvoyance can be picking just about anything, but I remember in their Clan Blitz and the Rainmaker matches, pretty crazy stuff. Like they are really strong on those map modes as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see one of those two as we're waiting for the counter picks.
Yep, we know Clairvoyance during their previous round. The one time they lost, they decided to come back and counterpick with Rainmaker and Crableg. So we could see Rainmaker Crableg come back. We've only played zones, so Rainmaker and Crableg are still on the table. We're just gonna have to wait and find out on what Clairvoyance pick, and more importantly, what the comps are gonna be coming to the table. I don't imagine much is changing. I imagine we're seeing the Machine Nautilus comp alongside that Sniper Rider and Shot. They've been sticking for a while to what they know, and I don't imagine that's going to be changing anytime soon. But actually, we're going to be still going on Rainmaker as I suspected, but it's not going to be Crableg. It's going to be Museum d'Alfonsino.
There is a non-zero chance we might still see that custom leader, because Museum is one open map. And I mean, the beacons are really nice on this map. For some, it's like the points are a little bit finicky, but if you put, you put one in mid, you put in your little snipe, you call it a day. But I wouldn't be surprised because that thing, were they playing the scope? I don't remember if they were playing scope or not. I believe they might be. You can reach all the way on the other ledge. I'm on a little bit of leader like hopium right now, but anything can go because aggressive comps can also absolutely dominate on a map like this if you're speedy enough.
Yeah, if you're speedy enough, you can be able to take the check and take the Rainmaker, just run with it. But that check is definitely going to want to get. It's very easy to get it. You can just jump right off a spinner. You're right there. But going after that is definitely what's going to make or break these pushes.
Absolutely. And there's a tiny bit of options here. With the Rainmaker, if the spinner aligns, you can definitely take the top spot. But for the most part, you also have the main route at the bottom. So your options are kind of limited. You got one or the other, and one is dependent on if the spinner is in your favor. So it all depends here. But yeah, dropping the leader here, opting for a Gal instead. Wow, we still see the not pencil.
Yeah, we're seeing that Sky is not a backline player like you'd expect, but instead a Kraken player. That is their special. If they're not playing E-Leader, they're playing the other really strong Kraken weapon, maybe even stronger with the 96 Deco. They're going to be trying to Kraken as much as possible, leaving Clairvoyance on their toes. And these point sensors are coming out like crazy by this custom blaster, which they decided to stick with. Seeing that could still be really strong here as Anka has their Zuka, going to be able to take out Inca, their counterpart. XYL trying to come in on this right side, but can't find a way in. Might be having to jump back out in return as they're going to be able to whip those cooler jumps, but no, they're going to be going down to that Snipe Rider in the end. But Inca coming in with that triple splash, they're going to be able to take out one, trying to take out Curie, not going to be able to, but getting enough distraction for Sky to get right to this checkpoint here. They're trying to get it. Very strong here. We see Google trying to paint. Could he be able to get that paint on the board? So much happening right now. Bevo pushing up. Going to be going down in return. Sky trying to get the cooler. Trying to push up in turn. Not going to be able to find it though. Sky trying to push in the Rainmaker in their favor. Trying to run in. So much is happening. Going all the way down to 24.
Oh my goodness, an incredible push here from Lush going all the way down to 24. Oh my goodness, already pushing waves. Clairvoyance still waiting to get that checkpoint here as they're moving their way back to mid, slowly trying to make more space, but 24 is going to be quite a score to beat here, especially this early on in the game. Well, at least they have time here. Seeing the Kraken from Sky, crowd, they got nothing with them. Absolutely making space. As you said, they're incredibly strong. The Kraken, maybe for a little bit of the funsies here as Lush is popping this Rainmaker here.
Yeah, that is going to be very, very nice for Sky and the rest of Lush as they're trying to live, but they're going to be taken out. This might be the chance for Clairvoyance to make a first push and try to get this check, but the triple splashdown is going to be delaying it a little bit, but not before two members of Lush are going to be going down. All the members of Clairvoyance are still here. The check's going to be going down as they're going to be trying to get more and more. The Rainmaker is still popping in Clairvoyance's favor as CC is going to be rushing in more and more, getting it all the way down to 32.
just barely inching towards that 24 that they need to be. But Lush is going to be opting to just straight up drop it. Bito just dropping it to the center, moving it up to the ramp of Clairvoyance. A really solid stride there to just get it out of the way. Clairvoyance being not Clairvoyance, Lush being 2 down right here on top of that, seeing themselves a little bit of a man disadvantage. Clairvoyance is making more turf in the center, making themselves a little bit more space to try and push again, hopefully soon. But unfortunately losing that Zuka down there, the shot, and it's just trying to hold this space as much as they can. Just each team trying to find the opportunity here, whether it's to hold it any further or try to make any more points.
Yep, CC trying to find something here, trying to paint, making sure that the cooler is given to the rest of Clairvoyance. Clairvoyance got a really nice push there, but they weren't able to connect the lead. So they still have to keep going with 1 minute and 40 left on the clock. And your Nautilus going down is definitely what you not want to see, especially with Anka trying to rush in, to be able to get one, trying to push up on this splash wall, trying to push up on Bebo, but not really finding it. Optic just wait it out. They have their Zuka at the ready. They have a triple splash down at the ready. They have a cooler. They're going to be using it, and they're going to be going for these triple splash downs, trying to get the picks on XYL. They're going to be shut down, though, as the members of Lush are just protecting their plat, their spinner, with any means necessary. No matter the cost, they are protecting it. Sky, though, going to be going down to Anka's AoE here as Anka is trying to push up against this custom blaster. It's not going to connect, though, as Inka is pushing in as much as possible, trying to find something, trying to protect their flat. A minute left on the clock right now. XYL, they have a Zuka at the ready. They could take out a few members of Clairvoyance, but again, they're opting to preserve their life. They're opting to preserve their flat to make sure that they don't get wiped out. And the members of Clairvoyance can get something, especially with that jump coming out, the triple split splashdown. Not going to be able to take them out this time. CC just waiting to make sure, okay, are we safe? But with 2 down, this might be it. But Sky, they have their Kraken at the ready. This could shut CC down if they get it at just the right moment. And here comes the Kraken going straight for CC. CC, though, going to be jumping right onto the spinner, just running out of there. And a wipeout. This could be really bad. This is Clairvoyance's chance to get the lead. They're just going to absolutely rush in, but right in time. Lush is going to be coming in and getting the picks, stopping this push, leaving only Anka left alive. Going to be able to get the pick on XYL, but it's not going to be going much further than that. It's so close, but that's going to be the second game down.
Lush coming in just in time to make the Rainmaker jump back just a bit, and that micro opportunity was enough for Lush to save the game, taking the second game of the set.
Absolutely beautiful. It looked so close. All the cards were in Clairvoyance's hands, especially with that wipeout, but Lush were able to get in just in the nick of time to stop anything else from happening. And with that, Clairvoyance is in a very bad spot. Lush has 2 points up. Lush just needs 1 more win, and they have the game. They have the set. They have the match.
Yeah, and they are right there at the edge. We're going straight to Splat Zone's Haggle, the quickest counter pick I've seen in my life. They, they looked at it, just went, all right, we ball. We're gonna go off with a bang. And as the members are just quickly readying up here, Hagglefish Zones, we saw the 30-minute paint match we saw, or we could be seeing that a really good lockout that we saw. But Clairvoyance, as we saw in the past, they have done a really ballsy lockout technique and were able to hold down the fort the last time they played this map. And whether they're going to be trying to do the same thing is going to be up to them here as we are opening up Hagglefish Zones.
Leader! Match point for the winners finals here might be going to Lush, though the members of Clairvoyance still do want this and need to make a reverse sweep as we're getting out here, seeing the custom blaster stick and seeing Sky go back on that custom E-Leader alongside the Zap in 52. There's going to be no Zukas coming out from the side of Lush, but there's still going to be a lot of fighting power as first paint is going to be going to Lush onto this zone here. Inka trying to stay alive. They have a cooler at the ready. They're trying to make their way in halfway towards that triple splashdown, trying to take out Kiri. Gonna be able to 2 down up the side though on Clairvoyance. Anka trying to continue this push. Booyabomb gonna be coming out in the zone, but they're not finding the paint here, especially with Sky running in with a Kraken. Gonna be able to take out Anka, going all the way to the canopy with the custom E-Leader. This E-Leader is as aggressive as they want to be. A third of the way through the points on this zone. Clairvoyance is in a very bad spot.
The wrath of a backline force to the front lines is something we love to see. Seeing the triple splashdown come down from Inkling, trying to make a lot more space, especially with the blaster, trying to work up any chip they might have been able to get off of that splashdown. Unfortunately, forced to retreat back with the Booyah Bomb coming out on top of that, but doesn't stop them from going underneath the ledges there and trying to make any sort of more pressure. Lush is looking to a possible 100-0 as they're just forcing Clairvoyance out of the way. Lush actually going one down, but they respond with taking two off of Clairvoyance. This might just be the knockout here as we're looking at the 3 ticks that are left over, and that is a 2-minute knockout for Lush, ending the set.
Absolutely beautiful, showing Lush is a cut above the competition, taking this winner's final in a clean 3-0, securing their spot in Grands. Again, it's not over for the Clairvoyance. They're going to be knocked down the losers, secured losers finals for them, so they're at least making third in this tournament, in this low ink. But that was so powerful coming out from Lush that it is still going to be an uphill battle for whichever team is going to be taking on Lush in Grands. That was absolutely beautiful coming out from both sides.
My goodness, yeah, the strength of both of these teams is absolutely insane. Some of these games looking a lot closer than what they look on the scoreboard, but Lush just sealing it off with a dominant zones game at the very end here. Incredible stuff. Again, I love to see the E-Leader. I'm totally not biased or anything. We love to see the backline, something like Leader, make its way, especially this high. Oh my goodness. No, yeah, and I think the thing is, especially going into winning off winners finals here, Lush is sitting at possibly the best spot that they could, because they can also afford to drop a set in grand finals because it would force a bracket reset here, or they could possibly win here on grand finals and just take it right there on frame 1, which is very interesting.
Yeah, whatever they want to do, Lush still has a chance to just hold it. They have that grand finals. They do have a bracket reset, of course, but in the losers bracket right now, we do have some sets that are going to be happening shortly. We're going to be seeing Blaeksprutter versus Blackswink Inkburger just a little bit, but it's not going to be with us. It is not going to be with us. But with that, we do have something we do want to talk about a little bit, don't we, Fufu?
Oh, yes, we do. There is a LAN for all my Houston people in Texas. We have a LAN happening over there on May 28th, coming up very soon, as you guys can see on screen.
H-Town Splashdown. LTC might be done and over with, but that doesn't mean Texas doesn't have anything coming up for Splatoon, as the H-Town Splashdown is going to be located at Game Guys in Houston, Texas on May 28th. You can find the registration and information on start.gg. It's going to be run by a lot of lovely people, a lot of powerful players over in Texas. Come on down if you're in the area. If you live in Houston, Dallas, Austin, Round Rock, make sure to head over there and get some nice Texan action. Even with LTC coming to an end and not everybody flying into Texas, Texas still has something going on with that.
Oh, absolutely. And the vibe at locals is absolutely everything. So do look forward to that, as a losers bracket is going to be coming up. But as you said, that is not going to be with us here.
Yep, no, it's going to be with Brush and Rissa. But before we go, of course, you can find me and Em at Twitter and Twitch at Ninstar123, where I post about my commentary blogs, broadcasting, my written content, articles, whatever I'm doing career-wise. But of course, where can people find you, Fufu?
People can find me at SplatFufu on Twitter or FufuPNG for streams here and there. But I do have a little bit of backline shenanigans, commentary shenanigans, and art here and there. But that is Fufu and NM here on the first block of Low Ink. Again, don't go anywhere. You guys still have a lovely set of commentators up ahead. But that was us for now. Signing off.
You all have a good one.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Low Ink. For the first time in a long time, we are Pop Gunless. I'm Brush. Joined with me is Rissa. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I am getting over a cold, but I'm still good.
Yeah, the famous post-LAN.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, when was the last time you were on Low Ink, Rissa?
Honestly, I haven't commentated Low Ink in probably over a year, I want to say.
Jeez. It's great. Do you remember what the circumstances were that you were here? You were just feeling like it that month?
I remember I was just feeling it. I do remember it was Splat 2, actually, now that I think about it. And I remember I was commentating with Pop Gun.
Okay.
I don't know. I was just in a commentator groove. I was like, let me get out there. I'm going to commentate this and this and this.
Okay, heard. And today we are back in that commentator groove? What's going on here?
Well, a wonderful person named Brush DM'd me asking if I wanted to commentate.
It is true.
And I'm commentating MomoCon next weekend, so I was like, I haven't commentated in months, okay? So I need to put in some reps.
Months.
Literal months.
Okay. Well, you had a block at LTC, right?
Yeah, besides that. But yes, I did commentate at LTC.
Okay, heard. Well, hey, what a great set to get you back into it. Then a team that neither of us know how to pronounce, who, if we shorten the first sound, is also the other team. It's Black versus Black, in my mind here.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have to. I guess it's Black versus Burger. You want to say? I don't know what's happening.
I don't know. I'm gonna kind of go with where the wind takes me.
Yeah, for sure.
Mid commentating.
Okay. Well, we're jumping straight in.
Yeah, I was literally just gonna say that. Luckily, we hopped right on the mic, and we actually just get to jump straight into the match here as it's gonna start.
Flat Zones, Umami Ruins. We're jumped down into losers bracket for the first time today. Round 4 of losers. We got this. Winner will go to semis, then losers finals. And looking at our weapons here, we got a Blobobber versus a Blaster are the two big things I see here.
Yeah, I'm also seeing Morzor on that 10 umbrella, which I think is really interesting. And then Take on the other side is coming out with a roller as well. So a lot of different picks that we typically don't get to see when it comes to competitive Splatoon. So starting out here, that Blaster you were talking about, Egg here, getting a pick right away, and that is leading their team to take the zones here and almost cap to start getting points on the board.
This is why I love Low Ink Rissa, because the match starts, we're like, look at these weapon compositions, and then we immediately get commentators. We're immediately like, there's the cap, and it's just like, it takes another 30 seconds. So 40 seconds in this game, we're gonna see our first cap. Where's our first screen, I think, of the day? We don't get to see a lot of that in Low Ink. But it looks like it doesn't matter. It's gonna be Black taking the first real cap here and getting the first lockout, 86 and counting.
Yeah, 80 ticks and counting here. It looks like they're trying to start to push up and utilize that. Wait a second. Utilize that tent shield there. Start pushing up a little bit and try and continue putting down these points.
Does the tent umbrella have screen? No, it's the gal there, right?
It's the yes.
Okay, because I was gonna say that it's they basically have two tent umbrellas in this game, because one of them is the special from the 52, which charges it remarkably fast. We've now seen 2 of them come out. But Burger trying to get away back in here. Okay,
so we see the bubble come out, we see the stripe come out, and
how 101? What?
One zone, but unfortunately that's essentially a complete wipe. I mean, look at the dominance coming out from Blaeksprutter here. They are pushed up, they are continuing to almost completely KO this, and look at this. Egg is just like, nah, I'm just gonna run up and just blast her in your spawn, no big deal.
I mean, that game was more dominant than most 100 KOs. The score at the end there was 0 to 100 plus 1. Like, talk about a storyline there. Blaeksprutter coming out, getting that first cap, and not allowing Burger back in. I mean, just completely rejecting the notion of a back and forth zones game.
Yeah. And then
just total dominance in those zones.
Yeah, I was trying to think too, if you're Black, like how do you that happened kind of so fast that I didn't even really get to process what Black needs to do differently to get back into that, because that was very dominant, like you said.
Black being Black
Black Squid Ink
Not
Burger.
Blaeksprutter.
Maybe
Oh,
I'll just
God.
call them Burger.
That's what I was saying. I mean, oh god, what was yesterday? We had Starfish versus Starfishers in the same Swiss group, and I was hoping they would play each other so bad to put them on screen, and it just never happened. Yeah, we do a little trolling here, I guess at Low Ink. Okay, so the way Alpha Bracket works is it's basically counter picks all day. So what that means, though, is that these low-level teams get an opportunity to sort of figure out where their strengths are and use them. Black Squid Ink Burger have had a fairly easy day, but they have had to counterpick at least once every round, going 2-1 in all of their previous sets today. All their previous loser sets. So seeing where they take us next, I think is going to paint a pretty clear picture for what kind of team we're looking at.
Okay, so we're looking at the lobby. I see Rainmaker Undertow is actually the one that is picked as the counter pick here.
I wonder, Blaeksprutter had the Tentabrella, which to me, you lose some popping power with it, but I'd be nervous as Black Squid Ink Burger picking that map, especially with the widened slick area going towards that KO. I don't want to be staring at a Tentabrella as I try to push.
I know that's a good point to bring up. I mean, if you're trying to, it seems like the runway is open, you're ready to rush forward, and then all of a sudden a tent shield just pops out of nowhere and completely shuts you down. Like, there's a lot of alleyways in this map where that could definitely theater what you're trying to do.
Oh, Burger, a little bit scary of a pick, I would say. I'm excited to see what they're gonna pull out here. I mean, they've got the big roster. They've got 6 players to their names. Seeing perhaps how they sub players around, but I guess we don't see any on our end, do we, Rissa?
Didn't see any players subbed out, so it looks like they're just gonna stick with that same 4. And I have a feeling, I'm feeling like, is that blob gonna be why they picked this map and mode? Is that gonna really come into play here? As we see the weapons come out from both teams, let's see if that blob even makes a comeback.
No, switching to the Tri-Slosher Junior combo. That's interesting. I feel like I haven't seen that sort of composition since, like, Splatoon 2. Oh,
I know.
Bubble. What?
Wait a minute here.
Whoa! Where's the... Okay, so I think what Burger's thinking here is if we can get those Trizuka shots to get a pick every time, you have 2 specials that will dominate all of these points. And especially with the buff recently, I think they're hoping that'll do something. And Take doing a great job getting the first pick there and opening the door for Black Squid Ink Burger.
Yeah, we see Matsy here tried to grab the Rainmaker, push it left, and did a really good job at starting to push it left, but the defense coming out from Black was, very good. They're already here on the right side of the map. They're breaking this bubble, making sure that doesn't help Burger any further. And there's another bubble there up in their spawn, too.
Okay, there you go. A bubble on both sides. I guess they really like this 2 sort of fork push, right? Really setting a player around that flank. And if you can get distraction with that bubble, that actually might have a lot of utility. But obviously this time, a nice defense thwarted, getting rid of the bubble on the front side first.
Okay, so Muzor there grabbed the Rainmaker. Now it's almost like kind of essentially in the same spot that the other team put it in. Neither team has that checkpoint yet, but we do see a bubble over that Rainmaker. So Burger, is right there. Oh my gosh, what is happening? The Rainmaker is just bubbles everywhere. The Rainmaker keeps going back and forth.
Ravioli has it now for Burger with that Rainmaker, so they're gonna look to make an attempt here happen on the left side. But we're 2 minutes into this game, nearly, Rissa. No checkpoints falling, and even in the way that Black Squid Ink Burger's holding this Rainmaker is very passive. It's very falling at mid, and as we're seeing, right, that means that Blaeksprutter just needs to wait, charge a special, and all of a sudden the push is gone. So a lot of back and forth here.
That's a good point. Burger there pushed that up really slowly. It seemed like they were trying to set them up for a push. They were waiting for some specials to come online, but as they were doing that, they didn't play fast enough. And in turn, Blaeksprutter there had their specials ready. We saw that screen come out. We saw them utilize that and dive through that and completely shut down the Rainmaker. So it seems like whoever can play fast enough is going to be the one in charge here. And guess what? Blaeksprutter said, okay, we're going to do that. Run forward, get a complete wipe, and dunk this Rainmaker to get the first checkpoint.
I was gonna say, talk about speed. It's all about that right side checkpoint. And look at Egg following this up here, getting a nice spot with that blaster under the plat, finding 2. Another pick goes down on the other side. So now once again, it's Blaeksprutter in an opportunity to move and wisely pulling the Rainmaker left, allowing themselves to get farther than just that first checkpoint with a nice push off of the respawn. 8 ticks remaining off of that push, only losing 2 players in the process. Really good utility there.
Really good utility. The Rainmaker is popped once again. You see they tried to grab it again to get a few more points on the board. Didn't get more points on the board, but in doing so, that they at least kept the Rainmaker here. And this is really good for Blaeksprutter here because Loser grabs the Rainmaker, dumps the Rainmaker, and look at that with the use of the shield. That was beautiful. If you're the other team trying to get that Rainmaker and a shield comes up in your spawn, what do?
Blaeksprutter taking this one 2-0, and Rissa, we're in losers bracket, so that's best of 3, and they're gonna move on. Say see you later to Black Squid Inkburger. And yeah, a quick 2-0, really dominant. We saw that in the splat zones, the way they locked out that zone, but then again here, their ability to take a push and keep the pressure on, right? 3 or 4 super jumps came in there at the end to keep that push, and it was the 3rd attempt they dunked it, but dunked it all the same, getting the KO and winning the set 2-0.
Once they really get their, the first game, regardless, they had momentum throughout the whole thing, but that second one, once they finally got a footing and got their momentum going, and you could see they were utilizing the cooler as well, being able to play really fast with jump-ins, like with that.
Right.
They seemed unstoppable there once they had that momentum going.
And we're not gonna take a break here, so we're gonna go straight through because ZESTFEST is waiting for us on the other side. Blaeksprutter moving on. ZESTFEST, the team we see often in low ink, but I feel like I feel like they might be strangers to being in this loser side bracket, having gotten eliminated by Clairvoyance, is waiting for us after this one. ZESTFEST has been a very dominant team as of late.
I've been watching this throughout the morning, and ZESTFEST, Clairvoyance, Lush, they all seemed like they were all on their game today. So looking at what we just saw from Blaeksprutter, getting to see them against ZESTFEST, I feel like this is going to be a good match.
I've got word from Popgun. He says, Blaeksprutter, sprue like grew. So there you go. We channel some despicable me here. Blaeksprutter. To get this team right.
Blaeksprutter. Okay. Roger that.
I feel like every month I end up Googling what this means and I always forget. So let's find out. Blaeksprutter. When I Google Blaeksprutter, I get their Twitter page, but it means cephalopod. So there you go. There's our answer.
I like it.
Or it means cuttlefish? It's like some kind of fish in Danish.
Yeah.
There you go. A Danish team.
Danish. Okay, I like this.
Okay, Popkid also recommends like toaster strudel. So we have a couple options if we're not feeling despicable me today.
We're done.
Just in case. Hey, so okay, Rissa, as you may know, yesterday was the Ludi Speed Ladder Academy. So our registration, we went from normally being about 900 players, just shy of 1,000, to just shy of like 400 or for this tournament. So we had under 100 teams for the first time in a long time in low ink.
Oh wow.
So what that means is that we're gonna walk away today with a winner, definitely having deserved the low ink win, no doubt. But sort of a different path to get there. And I think there was a mix of mindsets within our community. A lot of players saying, well, I want to play in the speed ladder, so I'm gonna have to say goodbye to low ink this month. But also a lot of these teams that are really cusp of winning the event, our ZESTFESTs, our Blaeksprutters, our Clairvoyances and Lushes, who said, no, I want that low ink W, I want the gold medal. That'll speak for itself on the Ludi seating committee. Two different mindsets here going into this tournament, and what that means is that we don't have like a lower skill level in low ink this month. It's the same low ink we see every month, but yeah, I think a different story of how we got there for sure.
That's really interesting. I love hearing the lore of this. When I do get to come commentate, I'm like, oh, this is it gets me really involved in the storyline that we see unfolding in front of us.
Right. ZESTFEST versus Blaeksprutter. We're gonna get moving here in just a second. Splatzone's Robo Ramen. I don't know about you, but every time I see this map, I just think about was it Gobi Arena was the basketball map?
Oh, yeah.
Splatoon 2?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't unsee the similarities. I saw a team put a sprinkler on zone, like above the center, and I was like, I used to do that all the time. Like that was me a year and a half ago.
Right. They totally are the same, huh? They look the same. The layout is very similar. Same vibes going on. And then 2, the sprinkler that you can put above the zone.
We'll see how that plays out here in terms of weapon pool. Can we talk about how big the roster of ZESTFEST is here? Is that 9 players?
Wait, 1, 2, 3,
That's
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh,
okay.
7 and a sub.
7 and a sub. I wonder if we're going to see Phoenix coming out today or if they were just a day 1 sub. We see that often in the Wink also. Something I like to always point out when I see rosters like these, like the dichotomy of 8 players versus 4, to me always strikes me as silly. And I always make this point of like, does the 4 players with good synergy beat the 8 players with ability to sub in and out? I was always a player on teams that had 4 players or 5 players, and it was just about the synergetic pairs. I wonder what ZESTFEST does to try to apply that to their own gameplay.
I don't know. I've been in both positions when I first started playing competitive. You know, I've been on that team that had 7, 8 players, and you kind of just rotate depending on who's available. But I do agree that it comes to a point where, okay, you need to start narrowing it down and getting the synergy, because no matter what weapon you play on any given map or mode, or against any given team, it really comes down to the synergy no matter what the weapon you're playing is.
You know, we like to say here, Rissa, that it's whoever wants it more wins the set. So synergy, I agree, but I have to remind myself. I hear Popgun's voice in my ear all the time. It's all about who wants it more.
When you say it like that, I can hear his voice echoing in my head too.
I hope everyone at home does as well. It's whoever wants it more, you know. Well, okay, and another thing is I feel like I got to know. I've been thinking about this a lot because we were both just at LTC, right, Rissa?
Yeah.
I am behind the TO desk. Was getting to interact with teams in a way I haven't really at LANs before, getting to see, you know, every single game as it comes in and be able to track like the broader storylines. And I felt like I got to know those players so well. Osef and Honorbound, I want to shout out, who I guess aren't alpha this month. But a bunch of these teams, right, that I see all the time in low ink. 07 was in Gamma this month. There you go. But really getting to know these players and then remembering, oh yeah, the scene is larger than the players in this room right now. ZESTFEST and Blaeksprutter, as far as I know, none of these players of the 12 players we see in front of us made it out to Austin, Texas last weekend. And it's like, I wonder how these players, one, would fare in a LAN environment. But also, right, seeing what the community has to offer, I get so tunnel vision at these events.
I know. I was actually curious how many like low ink level teams actually did make it out this past weekend to LTC.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good number. We talked a lot about the growth of LTC at the TO desk this year, and the short answer, what we came down to is we had about 400 people there. The growth from last year, about 250, was all low level.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay, Splatoon, Rissa. We're finally getting going here. Robo Robin Splatzones, Blaeksprutter with that tent umbrella. I should have talked about this in our downtime there. What a strong weapon to shoot across zone, though. Going down, as I say that, a little commentary first.
I know, you can tell that this is the comp that they want to play for this map and mode in particular, as they're coming back with these same weapons. Egg there getting a really nice pick with that range blaster, and I do think that range blaster is a really good pick, going to be able to utilize it over all the levels that this map does have. Zone, though, flipping back here, and now it looks like Blake is going to be in control of the zone here, counting down points, taking down members of ZESTFEST while they're at it.
Yeah, the shield taking a nice just sack for the bomb. That's going to buy them a little bit more time. And now the lead. Flowers, though, with the hammer. It drops to throw it immediately. But a pick's a pick, and that's some good utility on that snap. So the push will now be over for Blaeksprutter. ZESTFEST taking half of this zone. And doing so in a way that they're able to continue getting these picks and stagger Blaeksprutter. And that's where you need to be if you're trying to get a nice slug.
That's a good point. They are staggering Blaeksprutter here. They waited for a second. They waited to group up in their spawn. Now Muzer here using this Zuka to help their team push forward. Gets a pick with that Zuka and is able to help their team push forward and cap the zone. As we see Lucio here was going to try and flank around, but I love that it was called out there. Now Lucio having to go back. And now it is finally ZESTFEST time to try and get into the zone.
What a nice pick there for Lucio. Now, it's not going to find the cap for the team yet, but a pick is going to be able to snowball a little bit here. Another one coming out for the side of ZESTFEST, and there comes the cap. So a nice job finding the flank, accepting they've been called out, and trying to find utility out of it later. And a nice dive there. We'll find another on that.
Blaeksprutter, you can see they're saving those two specials up at the top left of the screen. They're saving them. But they did have two members go down, so I love though that they didn't use them. They saved their specials. They're not going to panic. They're going to wait to regroup, and there we go. We see that whale come out. That is going to help them push forward and get the zone, and that patience, beautiful. They're able to take down two members of ZESTFEST, keep the zone for themselves, and try and get the lead for themselves.
Halfway through the game now, no team has gotten a push past 40 ticks, but Blaeksprutter looking to make some magic. It's gonna be ZESTFEST being able to find the cap and hold on to their lead. Now Flowers in an intense 1v1 finds the pick on Muzer off the back up here. A lockout now underway.
Okay, so ZESTFEST, they did have that lockout. They push forward. They do have two members go down, but as we saw, Sover there recognize that, jump back to be back with their teammates, so that way now they can be the team to regroup here. Good recognition, though, coming out from Blaeksprutter, though. They recognized there were members down. The members of ZESTFEST were backing up to regroup, and they pushed forward and got the zone. Their penalty points are so low. They're literally about to end their penalty points here, and in a couple ticks, they could get the lead if they play this right.
I'm gonna be so honest, my computer roboted so hard just and you sounded so excited, you sounded ecstatic over whatever was happening in zone, and I missed all of it. You're gonna have to catch me back up to speed here.
Okay, don't worry. So the lead has swapped now over to Blaeksprutter, which they have been trying to do this whole time, and now they are, I mean, look at this, they're pushed forward, they are in ZESTFEST spot, and they're just sitting pretty there, not letting them move.
Wow. Yeah, I guess I lost the most exciting moment. The zone flipped back over and a delayed wipe. Blaeksprutter saying this is a squid ramen. No lemon zest here, and taking the win, going up 1-0 here in losers semifinals, or losers quarterfinals, sorry. No, semifinals. Oh my gosh. I know where we are in this tournament. 1-0, Blaeksprutter up.
At the end there, oh my gosh. Mr. Egg was showing us, okay. This is what Range Blaster can do here. They're just gonna completely sit under ledges and not let anyone from the other team even get out of their spawn. That was crazy.
I was gonna say, you can put respect on it. It can be Mr. Egg. It doesn't need to be just Egg 73.
I saw everyone in chat saying it, and I was like, yeah, that is Mr. Egg now.
Mr. Egg, I'm with you. Who was the Splatana player?
Splatana. That was, Viper. I think it was Sover. No,
it had to be on Blaeksprutter. Either way, they got that nice. They dove off the side, got a nice double there. The collat pick at the end.
Mm-hmm.
The willingness to be aggressive and take a risky play. It's not always going to pay off, but in this setting, right, where you can get two more, even though at that point I think the idea of getting back to zone for ZESTFEST wasn't happening. Yeah, the ability to just take a little bit aggression, and find the pick and take that gamble. If it pays off, it pays off. And if your team is willing to let you do those sorts of plays, well, then you're in a great place, synergetically, as we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm. And it seemed like once finally they were able to get both teams throughout that entire game, it seemed like they were both doing a really good job at recognizing when they needed to back up and wait for specials or back up and wait for their teammates to respawn. But in this case, it was finally the one team that got the upper hand and was able to make it happen.
So, okay, Blaeksprutter, 1-0, continuing their dominance from their last set. And maybe there's something to be said about they were the team first in this lobby. They had a little bit more time to rest, having just gone up 2 over Black Squid Ink Burger. A little bit of momentum starting here for Blaeksprutter, and that's a storyline I think we see often in these losers brackets is, you know, Clairvoyance is waiting in losers finals, but they've been there now for all of 40 minutes. Blaeksprutter is going to come in with this young, spry, excited attitude, I think. And if they can keep momentum moving, and it's Tower Control Inkblot Art Academy, Rissa.
What are your thoughts on this? It sounds like you have some thoughts on this map mode, Brush.
It's our favorite counter pick. And when I say our, I mean like everyone's favorite counter pick. And it's just like, whatever advantage you think you have going into this, the other team thinks they do too. Like, this map actually favors no one. It's crazy. We keep picking it, thinking it's gonna be, it's my team. My team knows how to play Tower Control Inkblot.
I think this is one of those maps where just, like you were highlighting, I mean, everyone feels comfortable on it. Everyone... Since it was in Splatoon 2, I feel like we're all like, okay, yeah, we know how this map and mode works. We know the game plan. We know to get to the first checkpoint and then go up into bats and then, yada yada. So when we see these two teams come out, I mean, the weapons we see are going to really tell us what the vision is here.
Yeah, I mean, weapon composition absolutely kind of changes the story of this map. But like, if you're ZESTFEST, you had a back and forth game, but when it came down to it, you got 50-0 at the end there. And ZESTFEST needs to show up here with a clear strategy that's going to throw Blaeksprutter off, because otherwise, like, they just are asking for the same kind of back and forth until one slip up where Blaeksprutter is going to take control.
Definitely. I mean, I could see this swapping to either side, considering how that first game went in the beginning, so back and forth. So. Heading into game 2, looking at these comps coming out here as well. One major, I think. Wait, Lucio, they were not on Slosher that first game, were they?
No, but it doesn't matter. Mr. Egg, our best friend, says no thank you. Sober, though, going to do some cleanup duty. Finds 2 for 1. And a full wipeout now in favor of ZESTFEST. They get the first push here, so maybe I'm eating my words. Maybe ZESTFEST does have a plan here, and they're going to be able to keep steamrolling forward.
ZESTFEST here doing what I had mentioned. They're at that first checkpoint. They're able to get through the first checkpoint, and they're not only in bats. Guess what? They're over on the right side of the other team's spawn as well. They have positioned themselves to completely try and lock down, not let Blaeksprutter get anywhere out of their spawn. Egg there able to completely stop the tower, and we see Eflim there jumps on it with that Nautilus, shuts down 2 members of ZESTFEST to try and get onto the tower, and now they're finally able to get on the tower and push it back into mid.
I don't know if you noticed, the tower rider there able to get some juice down and get a little bit of a chug going before they went down, so respawning quicker, allowing their team to sort of get back going, or at least themselves. And sometimes a selfish juice like that can go a really long way, because now with 4 players and not 3 on the field, they're able to set up and get their players moving a little bit faster.
Alright, so looking like, even though the tower got back into mid, it's really a bloodbath right now as we see members on both teams going down back and forth. Finally, though, ZESTFEST able to, they tapped the tower. They didn't necessarily ride the tower because they have 2 members down. Blaeksprutter here is now going to be the team to take the tower and start trying to get a push in of their own.
Mr. Egg in an intense 1v1, though. Gonna get some help from a friend there. 2v0 on the field. A nice wipeout there for Blaeksprutter. So their first push of the game really now. Finally getting to that first checkpoint. Trying to set up in bats of their own, but a nice shutdown there from ZESTFEST. Is gonna find 2 and leave just the tower rider alone. Trying to find any opportunity through it is Eflim, and a nice 3 is gonna take the energy of this game. Looking for the 4th. Can they find it? And a nice trade with a jump in means that they're going to be able to continue this push and maybe even get a little bit of lead moving.
I know that jump in there seemed like it could have been super clutch there. I definitely liked that. They were able to get 3 members down, and then there were jump-ins right away. And then we saw another member there right behind the tower to try and continue the push. They weren't quite able to make it happen as the defense from ZESTFEST was... I mean, they were on it. They were making sure that they didn't let that tower push anymore, but I definitely saw the vision in that push that was getting started there.
I like saw the vision as a turn of phrase here, because yeah, that's what. Because I mean, you have to remember, like, these teams have definitely sat down on the Sendu map planner and drawn those arrows. Like they've talked about these things, so there is some artistry going on here, and artistry we're watching. A nice delayed wipe there for ZESTFEST.
Okay, so ZESTFEST here, they are continuing to count down the lead that they already had. Flowers here uses this hammer in Blaekspurter's spawn. Isn't quite able to get anyone, but completely, it looked like they used that. What? Wait a second.
What? Where did that come from?
As Flowers was using that hammer, it almost looked like it was a distraction in a way, because all of a sudden that hammer in their spawn completely made them all kind of scatterbrained there, and then it turned into a complete KO.
Yeah, I mean, what a move. We talk about, right, what's the utility of each special. Hammers to me has always been like, if you don't get a pick with hammer, what are you even doing? Like, if you don't push them back, what are you even doing? But apparently you can also just be a rat, and then like someone else can do the dirty work. I don't know.
Right. I mean, too, if you're the other team and there's a hammer coming at you and you're like, wait, I need to stop the tower, but there's a hammer in my way. I can't get to the tower because there's a hammer. You know,
that's
it just
true
gets
also, right.
It's like, what do you do? You have to completely either shut down the hammer or die.
Okay, 1-1. Blaeksprutter coming out here with their first counter pick of the set. First one that we've seen on stream today. It cannot go back to Splat Zones or Robo Ramen. I doubt they want to go to tower control. But we saw them be pretty dominant in that Rainmaker game before. Normally I'm like scared to suggest a Rainmaker counter pick, but Blaeksprutter, I mean, dominated that game, and it wasn't even their pick.
They did. They really did. I know that's a tricky point, because if you pick Rainmaker, something could happen and it could be over in an instant. So, but considering, like you said, how they played in that previous match on Rainmaker, wait a second.
I'm glad we had that conversation, Rissa. That was really productive.
Yeah, me too.
But we are going to Clam Blitz Scorch Gorge. Which, okay, it's not as bad as TC Inkblot, but it does also feel like one of those maps, you know? Like, it really just feels like one of those, everyone has a game plan. I don't know. Maybe I should eat my words.
One of those.
One of those dang maps where everyone feels confident. Oh,
I don't know why whenever I think of this map and mode, I just instantly think of Kraken spam, but I don't know how prevalent Kraken spam is in low ink right now, so I don't know if we'll actually see that.
I haven't seen it in a while, but you're right. This map mode in my brain is synonymous with Kraken spam as well.
Yeah.
It feels like one of those double Kraken maps, and just throw power climbs in until you win.
Yeah.
We haven't seen a Kraken yet in this set. We haven't seen one in the previous set. And I don't see any roster changes either. So unless one of these players wants to come out with some crazy flex, not even quite sure what weapon they would move to get their Kraken. Wanted it.
I know. I don't know either. And with these teams too, on our end, we can see them in the lobby. They aren't readying up right away. So they're definitely thinking about what their game plan here is going to be. I don't know.
I do appreciate, though, that these teams are willing to slow down and take a moment. I feel like a low ink team curse we see pretty often is like wanting to just press A and just get moving and keep the ball rolling. But the willingness to slow down, have that team conversation, catch your breath, monitor your heart rate, right? Like, after a push like that, I wouldn't be surprised if we had some Apple Watches saying like, "Oh, there, slow down. That's a bit much exercise for you."
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily too have to be changing comps, right? It can be just, okay, what's our game plan here on this map and mode in particular? What was the other team doing that was shutting us down and we feel like was the issue? Was it a certain player? Was it a certain weapon? And how do we want to deal with it moving forward?
Battle time, says the lobby screen. So we're going to get moving here into game 3. Winner of ZESTFEST versus Blaeksprutter is going to move on to winners finals, where Clairvoyance is waiting. Talk about comps, a heavy edit being the main thing I noticed from Blaeksprutter, and apple dualies coming out on the side of ZESTFEST.
Man, Lucio having those weapon switch-ups consistently, and right now coming out with the dualies, it looks like they're going to try and be able to utilize the crab. I think this is a very good map to utilize that if they can get it set up. But, I mean, okay, 3 members go down right away here on ZESTFEST. We see Blaeksprutter. They know they need to gather clams. They have the advantage. They cool her up, and they're going to try and start pushing forward to score a power clam.
Did you catch the triple stealth jump on this team?
I
guess
not.
you don't need a Kraken if you can just like spawn in at their goal, I guess.
Yeah,
but
true.
no jumps coming in quite yet. Blaeksprutter able to open the basket. Let's say just off of picks alone, there's 3 down, and a nice job staggering it here as Evelyn. It's a great setup on the left side of the snipe with their heavy edit.
Yeah, this is a really good position to be in. Look at this, the angle that they're able to get on these members coming in from ZESTFEST. They're able to shut down those members, act as a distraction here. Drops down into mid, but gets a good position behind them again. I mean, this positioning is insane. It doesn't look like Blaeksprutter is going to get any other clams to be able to continue to score in. But I mean, what a great starting push, getting their score all the way down to 44.
Yeah, past 50 is big, but Scorched Gorge is one of those maps where, like, I don't feel like any push is comfortable. I feel like you really need to get a KO here if you want to feel safe, obviously, than you've won. Mr. Egg looking to make a little bit of the same magic from their heavy edit friend, but going down pretty quickly as Lucio puts in the work on the other side. So some nice aggression back and forth here is going to leave us in a neutral mid, just a minute 30 into this game.
Okay, so looking at the clams here too. I mean, clams are fairly even, but what is not even as 3 members going down on the side of Blaeksprutter and ZESTFEST here. They're trying to start to push up slowly. They do have 11 clams at the ready, so that's all I was just going to say. They need to toss some clams together, make a power clam. They do exactly that. And now you can see they're playing safely. There goes the hammer. Sober is able to come through that hammer, score that clam, and now finally ZESTFEST is their turn to get points on the board.
7 more clams is the maximum you can get, so a nice push there. Lucio now a lucky clam spawn is going to give them 1 point shy of the lead, but they're set up for the power clam jump, so if they can land that, and Sober does, 24 ticks is a great push here, and they're not done. 3 down in their favor. Blaeksprutter is stuck on the back foot.
Man, they are also coolered up as well, so even if they run in and score these clams in like we're seeing them do, they said, hey, we're going to be able to respawn just like that, and just like that, ZESTFEST completely KOs that and is able to take the 3rd game.
Hey, now I get to say it. If it's just because it's a map you're good at, doesn't mean it's a map they're not good at. Really, I really wanted to have that line on TC Inkblot to prove a point, Rissa, but I guess I'll pull it out here on what I think is like Inkblot Tower 2.0. ZESTFEST winning against their counter pick. And going 2-1 over Blaeksprutter, moving on to losers finals, 1 step closer to Grands, where Lush is waiting.
So looking at the bracket too, Clairvoyance waiting for ZESTFEST in losers finals, and these 2 teams I'm looking at previously at the bracket before that, and Clairvoyance and ZESTFEST have previously played each other. Clairvoyance winning that set 3-1 over ZESTFEST. So Clairvoyance actually being the team that sent ZESTFEST down into the losers bracket. This is going to be the matchup of a century.
Of the century? I don't know, Rissa. We've had a lot of good Splatoon. I don't mean to minimize your comments. We've had a lot of good Splatoon this century.
Low ink century. No, I don't.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, I'll give a low ink 10 years. This one could be the one. I'll take that one. ZESTFEST, look, Clairvoyance is cold.
Yeah.
We haven't played this double elim format a ton in low ink recently. Probably 2.5 years since we've had this like alpha bracket's just a straight double elim bracket. We did it last month, but before then, it's been a really, really long time. And it's something I remember when I first started commentating this event. And I would say this all the time, is like, Clairvoyance is the favorite here, having sent ZESTFEST down 3-1, as you called out. But they also now have been waiting about an hour, 20 minutes to play again. It was all of losers round 3, all of losers round 4, and then all of losers round 5. And now they're getting to play. With at least 1-2-1 in all those rounds. It's been a hot minute. And there's this debate, right? If you're Clairvoyance, do you wait? Do you scrim? Do you play solo? Do you play chess? Like, how do you kill that time? What's the best use? You don't want to get cold, but you don't want to be too warm.
And that's a lot of time too. It's like, okay, do we want to just go make some food? Do we want to go get some coffee? There's just so many things that you could do that don't necessarily give you the momentum and the warm-up that ZESTFEST has coming into this set.
You played a much higher level Splatoon than I, so I feel like you might have much more experience with this sort of straight double elim format, but maybe not.
Yeah.
What was your go-to? You have a lot of downtime. You've been sent down to losers bracket. What are you doing to kill that time?
Typically, like, say if I was Clairvoyance right now, just sitting here for this long waiting, I like to go get some food or make sure I'm good to go on that end. Got some water, but then
Cool.
I like to just go play an open with my team or whoever of my teammates wants to play still, because I find that's the best way. It's like, you don't want to go fully find a whole new scrim. That's a lot of work, but you don't want to just be sitting there doing nothing. And then too, when you can play open with your teammates, you're maybe making sure that you guys have a little bit of synergy going. You're not just playing with these randoms in
Right. What's your goal when you get into that open lobby? Is your goal go 20-0? Is your goal walk around and find out a little bit? Like, what's your energy there?
Energy there for me, I just like to win the games and make sure I'm playing the best I can with the given circumstances. So I don't necessarily want to be getting all the picks on the board or
Sure.
anything like that. But I just like to make sure that I'm making the best in-game decisions that I can possibly be making given the circumstances. So that's what I like to do, and just make sure it's not like I'm just running in and dying. I like to make sure, okay,
Yeah.
I'm playing off of either these random teammates that I found in open, or my one teammate and 2 other randoms. I'm playing off of them as best as I can, and making sure I have a good mentality going into this, because that's gonna then carry forward into the set that I could be playing in the bracket.
Yeah. Okay, I've got one more question for you, and then I'll let up on the onslaught of questions.
Okay.
You say that's the time for Clairvoyance to eat.
Yes.
What do you hope they've put in their bodies? Like, what's the food that you think would be most beneficial to them? What food did you go for to be successful?
Ooh, that's a good question, because it's like, okay, do I want to actually make something that, like, or eat something that's, like, good for me and is probably good for my brain? Or do I just eat whatever I find in the fridge, you know?
Oh. So it was a lot of leftovers for Rissa.
Yeah, leftovers or eggs. You know, you can't go wrong with eggs, right?
See, that's where I always went. I would play low ink, and I'd have a break, and I would make myself an omelet, like, every time.
Yeah. I think
it
that's
was
a
always
solid
an omelet.
choice.
It was always an omelet for me. Always. Or breakfast sandwich. I would do like a nice runny yolk in like a bacon and cheese kind of deal, you know?
That sounds delicious.
Hey, thanks.
And
I try my best.
And eggs are good for you, so
There you
it's a
go.
win-win.
Yeah. It's a win-win. I was being super healthy. It's unbelievable that I never made it to Div 1, Rissa. I don't know what I was doing wrong.
I mean, yeah, you had it started there, starting from the food that you eat. I don't know either.
I had it figured out. Okay, well, it looks like we're finally getting going here. Splat Zone's Mako Mart, our game 1. Is that correct? Streamer extraordinaire Inkfarer. Is it Splat Zone's Mako? Is that where we're headed? Okay, I should have a conversation with myself later, because I did the map list, and that means we're gonna watch Splat Zone's Mako into Splat Zone's Mako. I also don't think I made a map list for Bracket Reset, I'm realizing, Rissa. So...
Yay!
really hope we don't run into that issue in a minute.
We can watch
as-
Rush Panic live. Yay!
I could go to what is it? Maps.iplabs.inc and put in our map list again and pick a zones game. We're gonna get going here. Mako Mart. This is our classic in low ink for grand finals. It's also, I guess, our losers finals map here. I feel like it is the epitome of even maps, Rissa.
Yeah, when you think of those Splat Zones maps in particular that are just like neutral game, this is definitely one of those. I mean, there's so many different weapons that you can utilize for this. There's the rollers, there's the sloshers, there's the tri-slosher, there's Tenebrella even, there's so many different weapons that you can make work here. And it can not only just be the weapons. If you're playing aggressively, able to make flanks happen, set up in correct positions, either team can really make that happen. It's not too big of a map. So as long as you have the right, setup going into it with your team, it definitely could be anyone's game.
I don't know if you did this on purpose, Rissa, but I appreciate actually that you split tri-slosher and sloshers in that little summary, because in my mind, the way the tri-slosher plays here is vastly different from our full slosher friends.
Yes.
I feel like it's so much more aggressive. It gets to play so much more like a carbon roller or something aggressive. So we're gonna see what we come out here. A sloshing machine to the side of the team that is called Clairvoyance. Rissa, you're gonna talk now.
Okay, and then on the other side, seeing similar weapons coming out from ZESTFEST. I was like, wait, I know this, and we just watched them.
I'm glad it's not just me. A nice opening here for Clairvoyance, our team coming from the winner's side. Stalling this out nicely, and look at the way Ema sees the pick in mid, recognizes the flank, doesn't defend it with their back to mid, backs all the way up into Freezer here, and finds their team and gets the 2v1 pick there. Now, but a regroup needed on their end as ZESTFEST pushes on.
Clairvoyance. Oh, gets called out there by Flower's hammer. Flower gets the pick with the hammer, but then backs up and is playing. I love that positioning there. They were just trying to play under the ledges, act a little bit, of a nuisance there as best they could. But as both teams do have a member go down, the lead is actually going to swap over to ZESTFEST. You can see that they are regrouping with their teammates. They're knowing that they have to play defense as specials are starting to come out from Clairvoyance.
Big lead gets bigger here for ZESTFEST as they find 2 more picks, make them trades, but they'll go to the defender, which means they're in a great position to keep this moving. Ema not wanting that to happen, trying to find an opportunity, but getting called out there on the left side, forced to back up here all on the other side, but a neutral zone will stop ticks from flowing. 26 points on the board in favor of ZESTFEST.
Okay, Clairvoyance, they used that cooler. I don't even know if anyone is able to reach that cooler though, and now as they continue to have members go down, the points are counting down very quickly here for ZESTFEST. Enka uses this Booyah Bomb, tries to get a pick with it, and isn't able to get to the zone as they are completely rushed down by the members of ZESTFEST there. ZESTFEST knew, okay, there's only 10 points remaining here, let's rush forward and not let them get out of their spawn at all. ZESTFEST taking game 1 of losers finals.
I guess Clairvoyance didn't eat their omelets, Rissa. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Not
I mean,
the
that
omelets.
was some clearly eggless gameplay. So anyway, there you go. ZESTFEST takes game 1. Though Mr. Egg, I guess, gone now. So really, both of these teams are eggless, huh?
Yeah, I was picturing Mr. Egg in my head too when you said that.
Okay, but here you go. Here's the storyline. Clairvoyance. We're now in a best of 5, Rissa, so there's a little bit more time for these teams to get warm, and that's by design. Clairvoyance, again, an hour and 20 minutes or so they've been waiting. Haul game 1 a flub. They got their hands moving again. They got their team synergy moving again. We saw some good moments from them. A little bit of discombobulation towards the end as they got staggered. On a counter pick of their own, we might not see such a bad outcome.
Yeah, maybe with the counter pick of theirs, they're gonna know, okay, we're more comfortable here. We know our positioning a little bit better. Maybe they're gonna be able to utilize that upper hand against ZESTFEST because ZESTFEST, might potentially not have the same game plan as them. But I do agree with you. It seemed like ZESTFEST, I mean, they are warmed up. They were playing very well. They
made sure that they were, when they did keep the zone, they either didn't push too far forward past the zone, or right there at the end, they knew, okay, let's just completely run forward and rush it down because Clairvoyance isn't even going to be able to do anything. They were playing very well. So hopefully on Clairvoyance's end, maybe that first game is that warm-up they needed. Now they know what they're up against. I mean, even though they played against them already, they know now in this moment what they're going to be up against and how to play against it.
Someone say Tower Control Inkblot Art Academy? Did I hear that in the ether coming towards us? I really want to know, Rissa, what is played in their first set against each other. Zones Hagglefish we're moving to, Clairvoyance choosing to stay on Splat Zones, but I wouldn't be surprised if ZESTFEST is just begging to get back onto Tower Control Inkblot.
Yeah, good point. I mean, they were so comfortable on that, and if it comes down to it, I wouldn't doubt that could be the counter pick that they do pick if they end up losing a game moving forward.
You're wow, leaving the door open for a complete sweep is Rissa High on Twitter. In this set. A ZESTFEST believer, one might say. Hagglefish Market, I don't know, Rissa. I feel like this one is again a map that like feels really even, but the difference to me is it's the lockout on Mako Mart is really delicate. Here I feel like on Hagglefish, if you can get players moved forward, it becomes really, really difficult to break back in.
Yeah, this one, the map is a lot bigger than Mako Mart, even though it does have that similar, long map setup. It is a lot bigger than Mako Mart. So even though it can be hard to get pushed forward into the other team's spawn, it can be a lot more difficult. Once you get up there, though, I mean, you're up there, the other team is just completely locked out. So considering how both of these teams played previously on Splat Zones, anything can happen here. And we're going to go ahead and take a look. Game 2 here. What weapons do we see coming out? What do you see, Brush?
When was the last time I saw an E-leader in low ink? I couldn't tell ya. Never mind. Ink Fair, our stream producer, says today, so I will eat my words.
Actually, yeah, I was watching this earlier. They were running that E-leader, and I think they were switching over to 96 on Rainmaker, if I'm correct.
That's one of Kraken?
Yes.
Makes sense. It's easy with this E-leader scope. Looking for an opportunity and a nice one on Flowers. I was about to call out there's a player to watch, but watch no longer as they're sent to the respawn terminal, and a nice pick there. He's going to open the door, plus CC's now Kraken coming out, and 3 down, and a nice opening push here as Clairvoyance finds the lead and moves towards a lockout.
Yeah, Clairvoyance really showing us that, hey, this is our pick here, and we know what we want to do here. They know what avenues they need to take, what positions they need to be in, and they are just not letting ZESTFEST move right now, as we see Flowers here trying to get in through the right side. It's called out by the machine player, but and they tried to hammer too, but were called out right away. So, I mean, Clairvoyance, they are set up. They are so comfortable.
Past the 40 tick mark is Clairvoyance is trying to get into some real danger territory. A trade gonna go in their favor. Now Flowers goes down to an Inksuka in the face over, trying to push up, make something happen of their own, but Jump's gonna get completely called out here. Zone getting somehow neutral in the crossfire, but not for long. Flowers unable to make an attempt to happen, and no cap comes out. So 15 ticks will count down. Only a minute 30 in this game. Clairvoyance looks like they're gonna put this one to bed.
Yeah, they were just like, okay, let's 100 to 0 this real quick. We know exactly how we want to play this map and mode. That was beautiful, and I'm really wondering too if that the E-leader pick from that. It seemed like once the E-leader was not only set up in high and back positions, but also when they were pushed up a little bit more, they were able to get picks. And sometimes just that laser staring at you if you're trying to get to the zone, even if you don't get picked, it can definitely scare you back a little bit and maybe not make you as confident of a player as you want to be.
I was gonna say, we saw Flowers being super aggressive with this Latana Wiper before, and all of a sudden with a laser flying through the map and a quick punish in the first opening frames of that game, all of a sudden we saw way less of Flowers gameplay, and all of a sudden they were playing way more cautiously, which doesn't lend well, I think, to Latana Wiper on the whole.
Good point. I mean, and on Macomart, they were able to just rush forward. They were playing under ledges. They were even flanking into Clairvoyance's spawn. But, man. Yeah, that's a good point. Even if they weren't pushing forward here, Flowers, in the second game, to be in position in the E-leader's vision, there were other members of Clairvoyance right there going, "Hi, I know you're gonna be here."
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this is where a map mode counter pick can really come in handy. Can you pick something that forces CC away from that long range sniper and onto something that allows Flowers to get set up, allows your team to be a little bit more aggressive, which has been the playstyle that's been working well for them. Remember, their Splat Zone's lockout on Mako Mart was in their enemy's spawn around that right side bend.
And ZESTFEST, they're not necessarily utilizing as much range. So I feel like they're going to want to pick a counter pick where they're just going to be able to utilize the shorter range weapons that they play a lot more squirrely. Counter pick coming in here, and it's going to be tower control on Manta Maria. Oh, I was not expecting that.
Did you say squirrely?
Yeah.
What is squirrely gameplay?
Like very aggressive, very...
Is this the new rat? We're not allowed to say rat anymore? What?
I guess they're one and the same.
I've never heard squirrely. This is squirrely.
I'm Googling it.
Okay, good. We got into this VC and out of nowhere, Rissa had
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, we all got in this VC for the stream, and Rissa had their status as I'm a rat that they said you swiped from someone else. So now we're all rats in the low ink commentary booth.
Okay, so I googled it.
Yeah.
Squirrely is a slang term meaning eccentric, flighty, or slightly odd. As in, there was something squirrely about the way the suspect gave their alibi. Huh.
So we want ZESTFEST to be a little eccentric here? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay, eccentric gameplay from ZESTFEST. I guess that's in their name. I guess Zesty you could say is eccentric adjacent. As we get going here on Tower Control Manta Maria, it's not the fastest tower map. It really is one of those that we typically see a full 5 minutes of, Rissa.
This isn't going to be like Tower Control Inkblot where, once you get past that first and second checkpoint, it's going to snowball really fast. This one, there's a lot more avenues for, if you're the team on defense, to stop the tower, much easier than Inkblot Art Academy. So I don't doubt that we could see the full 5 minutes or at least 4 minutes of this match.
And okay, moving to the pencil, CC. I was gonna say it's not a map that necessarily is anti-charger either, so makes sense that we see some kind of the form and a lot of range with the Nautilus there as well for Clairvoyance. ZESTFEST though with a 96 gal. There you go. You called that out earlier.
And Lucio, this whole time that we've been watching ZESTFEST, I mean, they're continuing to switch to these different weapons and continues to play them all very well. So it looks like they're just kind of morphing around what map and mode they're playing, or maybe what special they need on a particular map. As we're seeing them. Oh, as we see, there goes that Kraken from Lucio. They heard us talking about them.
But not able to really find a pick with it, so they're going to get called out in a 3v1. Another player trying to do some cleanup there, going to get called out. Flowers now on the back foot and 2 down. Be a delayed 3. And Clairvoyant's going to shut down that push, but not before the first checkpoint is passed.
ZESTFEST here. I like that Lucio, as we're seeing their point of view, was able to get some jump-ins for their team. Jump-ins are always going to help them play a lot faster and try and set up much faster. Both teams going to have those coolers, so no matter who goes down here, if they're cooled up, they're going to be right back into action. Clairvoyance here now going to take the tower, start putting a few points on the board, but once again, there's Lucio with that Kraken completely trying to shut down the push from Clairvoyance.
There you go, 2 Krakens with no utility and a pick against their favor at the end. That's a difficult place to be in if you're ZESTFEST. Clairvoyance testament to their ability to back up, understand space, maybe throw a few shots at the Kraken to slow it down. And a nice job surviving that. They're going to find the lead here and get a push leading of their own.
They do have the lead only by a few points here, but I like that they're not necessarily, they're said, okay, we have the lead. We don't necessarily need to push the tower like super aggressively here. Let's wait for that Zuka coming out from ZESTFEST. Let's play this very carefully and just take our time. Now that we have the lead, we can afford to take a little bit more time and play this more correctly.
Flowers are aggressive. Splatana Wiper for ZESTFEST gonna try to make something happen here on a flank. Hammer online, forced to take the long way around. Gonna get a little bit of juke though. Finding a jump out pick is on Ema is there, but Curry stopping that one there, and 2 down for Clairvoyance and ZESTFEST finds a way back into mid. So a little bit confused that retake, but doesn't matter. Picks are picks, and they're gonna look to make a push of their own now. ZESTFEST.
We see Silver here having that Zuka ready. Isn't able to get a pick with that, but there's that Kraken ready again. There goes that cooler as well. So unfortunately, their Kraken player does go down. Looks like though the Kraken player was cooler. They're gonna come right back into the action, have that Kraken ready, and they are trying so hard to get points on the board. Lucio uses that Kraken in the top left. Is gonna do a great job at shutting down the momentum there from the defense, and the points are so close to get the lead.
CC set up in rings a little bit behind the tower, so they're forced to rotate around, but Flowers chasing after them, so the push will die there. No more points and no lead, but Flowers' aggression. CC, wow, what a great way to shut that one down from afar. A nice job backing up, finding the better angle, and finding the pin.
Look at this. The spec cam leads us to Silver here. There was Sharking there up on the top right side. Tries to sneak around to the flank, but the eyes on them were able to completely shut down that flank going on. And now, as we're watching here, I mean, Clairvoyance, they're trying to get on the tower once again. They're trying to just keep it in mid as best they can and not let ZESTFEST push it any further to get any sort of advantage state.
I didn't know Clairvoyance was a team of moms with eyes on the back of their heads. The way they just whipped around, got rid of that flank, took care of it. And one frame in mid later, they're the ones pushing. Though, wow, Silver. Second time we've seen that happen.
Silver definitely trying to get those flanks in to maybe make an opening for their team, but isn't quite able to make them happen. You know, maybe Clairvoyance is, it almost seems like Clairvoyance is like, knows that Silver is going to do that. So maybe Silver having to rethink how they use those flanks. Maybe flank when there's a special going on. That way they have that special to help them push forward. So 30 seconds remaining of this match, and the lead is by 5 points up on Clairvoyance's favor. 2 members are down on the side of ZESTFEST, and I mean, Clairvoyance here, they're set up in mid. They are guarding this tower, and they are just not letting anyone from ZESTFEST come in.
That zone's lockout commenced in the zone here as Anka charges that Bia, throws it at Bunker, looking for a pick, and they're gonna find one on Fluffy. A 2v3 situation in mid, but lots of blue paint down, so only 5 ticks make something happen. The Trizuka comes online for ZESTFEST. They're moving to an overtime push. Okay,
2 members down on the side of Clairvoyance. We see the Kraken is ready from Lucio, so if they're able to use that Kraken at the perfect time, Flowers gets 2 picks with the hammer, 3 picks, and that's a complete wipe. Wow, ZESTFEST able to turn that around completely in overtime and win that match. Holy, what a setup there, oh my goodness.
Doesn't matter when you have the pop-off, Rissa. Wise man once said, a pop-off's a pop-off. And 3 picks with a hammer when you're talking about a 1 checkpoint down game, when you're talking about the biggest push having been to mid, ZESTFEST had a pretty wide open door there to make something happen. In hindsight, though, we were both talking like Clairvoyance had put that one to bed.
Right, it seemed like Clairvoyance had, you know, the left drop guarded, the street guarded, the bunker guarded. They were just set up completely comfortable, and then I didn't quite catch what was that opening there that allowed them to get into mid, because I mean, once that happened, it just completely snowballed from there.
I think just a little bit of aggression coming from both sides was all it was, right? Is just a little bit more energy, unrelenting. And out of nowhere, Clairvoyance realized they were out of utility. So a Trizuka came out, found a pick, and that was all they needed to make something happen. This set's not over though, Rissa. I know I just did like my screaming thing that you do when like, oh my god, it's won. They did it. But no, 2-1. ZESTFEST is up. So Clairvoyance not out of this one yet.
Yes, Clairvoyance not out of this one yet. So this next game here, game 4, if ZESTFEST does win it, they will be moving on to grand finals. But if Clairvoyance wins this 4th game that we're awaiting the counter pick from, then we will be headed to a game 5. And I mean, the score, I feel like the score shows it all. Anything can happen in these next 2 games.
A counter pick back in the favor of Clairvoyance. We saw them go to zones last time. They can't pick that again. Our rule for best of 5, Rissa, is you can't pick your any map you've run on or any mode you've run on. So no more splat zones here. Tower control still in the running if they want to test their luck.
Okay. If you're Clairvoyance, what do you do here? I mean, I don't know. Are they going to try and pick something where they can utilize that E-leader? Or, you know, it feels like ZESTFEST isn't necessarily switching weapons, so it feels like you don't want to pick something that you think might counter ZESTFEST, because ZESTFEST is just sticking with the same weapons over and over.
Plamzon Robo? I didn't make the map pool, but is that a map that we see, Rissa? I don't play this game.
It is, yes.
Inkbear in our ear goes, it's a map. I don't think I've ever seen it, but it's one of them. We allow it. Okay, we have the map pool. Here we go. Clam Blitz, Robo Ramen. Sure enough, look at that. Is that really a map we like? That's one that we like, Rissa?
I'm not gonna speak for everyone.
The we.
The we at hand, but I feel like it's not bad. There's like worse things out there. And I think we'll get to see here firsthand.
We hated Gobi.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like that. It's not as horrible as that, I will say.
Heard. I don't know. I got into a debate with Siren at LTC. I was like, justice for Gobi clams. She did walk away after I said that, to be fair. So maybe I got what I deserved. Team's not readying up here. This is crazy. They really want to catch their breath here, I guess, Rissa. If you're Clairvoyance, I guess you felt that one slip away from you.
I know, and thinking about it too, okay, we've played Splat Zones, we've played Tower Control. I like that they didn't pick Rainmaker, because we all know how fast Rainmaker can end, right? So, okay, let's just pick a mode that hasn't been played yet here in this set. Let's play Clam Blitz, which is a little bit safer than Rainmaker, you know, quote unquote.
Yeah, but it's still so snowbally. It's not Rainmaker. You're right, Rissa. Like yes. And also what? And also, like, I guess you don't want to go to tower. I guess you didn't feel strong there.
Yeah.
And so it'll have to be Clam Blitz. That's all you've got left in the tank. But this timer's gonna run down all the way, the full time it gives us, before we can get into this set. Clairvoyance, they need to win this one and the next one if they want to move on to finals, where Lush is waiting patiently.
Okay, so headed into game 4. I'm super interested what comps are going to come out. I was fully expecting Clairvoyance to be running the pencil, because it seems like it's a little bit more mobile for this game mode, but they are coming out with the E-leader, so I think if they can make that work, that's going to be a really good pick for them. On the other side, actually Sover switching over to the Squeezer, so that is a big switch up that we haven't seen come out from ZESTFEST yet.
I think ZESTFEST just like totally got what they wanted there. My guess is you see, okay, what's their counter pick? What do they want out of it? And if they were thinking they're gonna pull out the E-leader, the Squeezer's the right way to go. You can't beat the E-leader on this map with flanks, I don't think. You need a little bit more range, you need a little bit more passive opportunities in.
That is completely correct. I mean, look at that flank that just came out. The E-leader might not necessarily be able to turn and poke at that as best as a pencil would be able to. And I would like to say, Brush, that is the squirrely playstyle I was talking about.
Okay, squirrely playstyle, absolutely. A nice triple there, Clairvoyance. Trying to get a push of their own, opening the basket. They've got way more clams to play with here, and ZESTFEST did on their push of their own.
Able to get the lead, Clairvoyance. They do have 3 members go down. I see Emma there jumped into the beacon, so they're able to jump back into the action, but not quite as far in the action as maybe they wanted to be. It looked like ZESTFEST, I love that ZESTFEST. You can see they recognized there was a beacon there. They said, hey, let's rush forward, get that beacon, get any jumps that are going to that beacon. And they didn't only rush forward and shut down any jump ins from the beacon. They rushed forward and opened up that basket, have the lead once again and for themselves. Not able to get any more clams, but they did at least get the lead back for themselves.
Are so purple, though. ZESTFEST didn't have to do a lot to get all the way back in mid, so it's Clairvoyance who really have control, even though they're the ones just pushing. So a little bit of a trade-off there. Not going to get a ton of utility out of the push, not going to get a ton of points, but you're going to force Clairvoyance to burn specials to get back in. And that's exactly what we see CC's Kraken there, dying just in time to grab the ball they dropped.
CC didn't necessarily use that Kraken to push forward and, maybe pull the Kraken strap, but used it to be a little bit more mobile as an E-leader player. And looks like they were also able to take down a member there of ZESTFEST. And I think as long as that E-leader is safe on the other side, this is kind of a scary position to be in if you're ZESTFEST, as we're seeing Sober's point of view. It's like, okay, if I push forward, I might get sniped here since this E-leader is sitting very comfortably, so...
Stuck in a rock and a hard place there. Gonna go down a hammer and a turret firing at you. It's Clairvoyance looking to find a way in. 3 down in their favor. Anka pushed far ahead. That allows a ball to jump in from Curie. And basket open. The question is, do they have more to play with? 5 clams won't be enough to lead quite yet, but more on the way here as a free bomb comes out from Anka at Eba on the backside. More clams, and there's going to be a lead. This push is not done. 3 down in their favor, and more to come.
Ema able to get in more clams, and what is happening? You can see that ZESTFEST is trying to have their defense going on, but I mean, just constant members from Clairvoyance are rushing forward with clams and continuing to score in more points, getting those points all the way down to 29. I think ZESTFEST here is finally able to shut down the push, Okay, they were able to shut down the push, but they did have 3 members go down as they were doing so. So that last member, Sober, they're having to back up, get ready to play defense once again. Clairvoyance looking so dominant right now. Once they got that lead, they have all this map control, and they're doing great.
Right, I mean, they're still holding mid after the push, and they're only now back at CC, proving why they chose the E-leader, finding a pick there with the Kraken ready. So an uphill battle for ZESTFEST if we want to find a way back in. Not a ton of clams.
Ooh, I saw Flowers there coming in with the hammer, was going to try and mow down a few members there of Clairvoyance, but on the other side, CC said, okay, I have my Kraken ready, I'll just Kraken along with their teammates. The members of Clairvoyance, they're doing, as soon as they recognize, okay, ZESTFEST is going to try and get flanks in to score this, they have eyes on the flank, they have eyes ahead. They are not letting members of ZESTFEST get close at all.
Over with the ball, they're backing up. That's ZESTFEST. They don't have leads, so they need to find a way in the next 20 seconds if they want an opportunity. But Clairvoyance not allowing them to do so. Onslaught, specials, the Trizuka with the range, the E-leader's laser, the squirrely gameplay, I'll say, even from that machine. And it forces everyone on ZESTFEST back to regroup. And now they have to really fight to find a way in as we enter overtime. They've got 2 balls at the ready, though. They want to find a way in. There's 1, there's 2. Not lead yet, but clams to come. There's 1, there's 2 from Flowers, and getting it right before they go down. ZESTFEST takes the game 3-1, and they're moving on to grand finals.
Holy moly, what? It happened again. Clairvoyance.
It happened again.
Clairvoyance sitting real pretty throughout the majority of the game, and then all of a sudden, in overtime, it almost seems like they I don't know, like they run out of resources, like you've said, and then ZESTFEST just has the opportunity, takes it, and runs with it.
So 3-1, ZESTFEST takes it. once pulling off that mayhem on a counter pick of their own, but once doing it against their favor, Clairvoyance, who knocks them down earlier, they get a right hook right back. And ZESTFEST moving on to grand finals. I want to take a look at this replay here because seeing how they were able to come together and just push through a lot of BS from ZESTFEST here with the double ball play. And look at these isolated pairs. Flowers with the hammer against the machine on the bottom side. There was a pair on the top right. And all of a sudden, you're going to lose your life in the process, but able to find the clam scores in. And that's the points you need to take the set. Some really aggressive gameplay. The question, is it enough to take on Lush in grand finals?
Ooh, is it enough? That's a good question. And I actually, since I feel like I've been following ZESTFEST storyline this whole time while I've been commentating, so I need to get re-familiar with Lush and what weapons they play, what their play style is.
Well, the good news is you have some time to study up and get familiar, because I have to go run to Worcester, Massachusetts and see my sibling graduate college. So Popgun's going to jump in here and take it home here at Low Inc. May 2024. Lush versus ZESTFEST coming up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Low Ink, the Grand Finals. I am Brush, joined by Rizza, and that is my impression of Brush doing an impression of me, which he always does a horrible job at.
I was literally just thinking, because Brush did that when we started, and then I was like, this sounds like Brush sounding like Popgun.
Yes, I that is like so meta that I'm doing it. Okay, so real quick, I've had it in the back of my mind to do a video of me doing impersonations of other commentators. Do you want to hear the one I have already planned out for Brush?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. What? What? And then that's it. That's all it is. It's just that. Anyways, here is Lush taking on ZESTFEST. Lush has completely forgotten how to lose because they are 3-6-9, 12-0 so far today. Even though they lost 4 times yesterday, including a set 2-1 against Solo Q, who they got revenge on earlier today, 3-0. ZESTFEST has been a team that you've been looking at, Rizza, while I've been not paying attention to the stream.
Yes. ZESTFEST has been on fire so far, and considering how well Lush has been doing, I'm super excited to see how this goes.
Well, we don't have to wait.
I know. They're going in.
As soon as they got into the lobby, they said, let's hit start. Lush has been waiting for 5 hours for this one to start. And, okay, there's the Fire Fin, or the ZF Fire Fin, the Charger coming out there. That is the Splashdown Blaster as well, coming out from Lush. No surprises here, unless we're not used to seeing the Kraken Gal out of Lucio. I wouldn't know.
Lucio has been switching between a couple of weapons, and that is one of them, so not a surprise here.
Alright, fair enough. But Lush pick it up right where they left. The question is always, are they rusty? Did they like not do anything during the break or something? So far, first 30 seconds looking pretty not bad.
Right, they're set up here. They have the zone. I like to know that they had their counter specials ready, so they were saving that Tri-Strike and that Whale for ZESTFEST specials. We're able to save those to counter the specials. Finally, though, I didn't necessarily see what the main opening was here, but ZESTFEST able to counter all of that and push in and get the zone.
Just use the Kraken and then burn all your other specials. Okay, the problem with that, though, is that now how are you going to hold on to it? Because you don't have any specials to hold on to. Lush is all coming right back in, and they're just going to punch you in the face and take it right back. So there you go. Back and forth in the first minute. Lush kind of landing on their feet right there. And that's going to be the question for ZESTFEST. How can you get control of the zone, but also hold on to it? Because they seem like they get, well, yeah, never mind.
You could see Lucio there trying to use the Kraken because that was that big opening that they had before, but with all the counter specials that Lush had, I mean, it seems like Lush, they recognize, okay, if I need to use my specials right away because the other team doesn't have their specials, they do that, or they know to save their specials for when the other team gets a certain special to counter it. They're doing just a great job at recognizing that.
So they're going to have Hammer now and Zuka as they get control of zone. Lucio starting to push up deep into the enemy base. Is probably going to get flanked until Flowers just kind of randomly chucking a hammer halfway across the map, getting a splat, but everybody else looked like ZESTFEST really overextended right there, and they're going to get punished for it.
ZESTFEST, they're trying to jump back into that last remaining member on the map there, but with the way that Lush is able to just rush forward and cap the zone, and you can see too, they're completely closing out those jump-ins that did happen. They're hunting down those last remaining members of ZESTFEST and shutting that down. Flowers, though, trying to get a sneaky flank in here. Isn't down yet, but he's called out and has to jump back.
Well, does have their hammer as well. Let's see if they, well, they'll still have an opportunity to use their hammer right now because they're going to need it to extend this clock out. Let's see what they actually do with it, and it looks like they're just going to get canceled by the blaster player, because we've just seen him kind of chuck the hammer just randomly and hope it lands on somebody, and then other times do a fantastic job of flanking with it and getting several splats along the way. Right now, things going back and forth. Sky picking off the wiper yet again, holding serve and saving control of the lead for Lush.
guy getting flanked there and calls out of this way. The flank, though, is Lucio with that Kraken. The zone is not yet capped for ZESTFEST, but Lucio is trying to make an opening with that Kraken. You could see, though, that Lush recognized that, hey, let's just back up for a second, let this Kraken run its course, and then just take him down.
I mean, that's really all you can do, right? By the way, once that thing gets on Range Blaster, everyone's going to start asking for Kraken to be banned because it's finally going to be on a weapon that can just, like, mow people down in a way that doesn't require a whole heck of a lot of RNG like we do see out of the gal right here. But, hey, Lush starting to beat up some players yet again. Lucio not going to escape along that left side. That should all but do it. Is ZYL coming back around here to make sure nobody can kind of attack through the zone, and now we're just seeing more players from ZESTFEST having to feed into this one and getting mowed down along the way. Calm down. You're supposed to be the rusty team off of the break. Lush dominant in game 1.
Yeah, Lush doing a great job at just having, like, they're just game awareness in general and on all different angles was very, very good. I was curious too, since you're here now, how does Lush usually do in low ink?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Okay, so that is actually a lie. They finished Alpha Bracket last month. Got eliminated in like losers round 3 or 4. And I think that was their first time playing. I did have them in my personal top 10, mind you.
Okay.
So I knew they were good just because they did decent last month and a lot of other teams aren't really here. Who knocked them out? Marin Katengay knocked them out. They're not here this month. They had the drop. And Squid Good eliminated them in losers bracket. Another team that is not here. They dropped earlier before this week even started. So now that we're getting and Lush was 6-0 last Saturday, or last Saturday as well. So those are the only 2 teams that beat them last year or last month. So Lush is doing good. As usual, whenever I put somebody in my top 10, somebody in Twitter's like, "Look, they're not banned already." Well, if they win 2 more times, they'll be banned, and everybody will be happy, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
This could be it. We're gonna have to see. I like too that you mentioned how even though Lush has been sitting here waiting, they just hopped right back into it. They were just ready.
And I think they subbed a player out too. Woods is coming in.
Yes.
Which is weird because the counter pick hasn't even been made yet. So it's like, we don't even care what ZESTFEST is going to pick. Woods needs to play game 2. So, fair enough. Oh, by the way, here's some more stats for you. There has never been a team in Splatoon 3 to win low ink with just 4 players on their roster. Everyone has had to have 5 or more. That doesn't necessarily mean all 5 players played, but we've never had a roster of just 4 players do it. And where that streak is going to continue because Lush has at least 5 and 1 sub added in, and ZESTFEST has basically a baseball team for a roster.
Yeah. That's so interesting thinking about, like, compared to mid and high level teams, they like have the 4 people. So very interesting.
Well, the logic is that you have to play a 2-day tournament. And
True.
While you might be available on Saturday, you might get grounded overnight, or we had a player get locked out of their house in the middle of a set trying to take the trash out. So they would need another sub. We get a lot of college students. We had ITAP back in the day had to forfeit a set because somebody pulled a fire alarm in their dorm. So, like, low level faces a lot of interesting issues that the higher levels do not.
Interesting. Okay. All right, and then we do have our counter pick in that ZESTFEST has picked. Gonna pick tower control on Manta Maria, which they did win in the last set, I believe. Question mark? I don't remember for sure. Wait.
Did you hear me?
No, now we can hear you.
Okay. I saw my green circle not lighting up on Discord. How long was
We're
I
good now.
talking that you couldn't hear me?
Well, I mentioned Manta Maria and then
Yeah.
nothing.
Okay, cool. I didn't say anything, so that works out. Game 2! Of Tower Control Manta Maria, Lush has yet to lose a single game all day. They brought in their Nautilus player. What the heck is going on here? Is that the vanilla roller to go along with the wiper? Okay.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
They didn't do that last game, did they?
No, they didn't.
All right. Well, they're getting a little fluffy right here. They're going to need to put a whole heck of a lot of paint down, or maybe Fluffy can just say, nah, I'll just go right up to them through their ink and smash somebody in the head.
Ooh, you can see Fluffy tried to rush forward with Lucio playing that machine, and tried to, they tried to double team that together. Didn't quite work out, but mid here still contested by both sides, trying to see who can get the tower first.
By the way, Woods coming in off the bench before they even knew what the counter pick was going to be so that they could use Nautilus must have had the hard read of knowing they were going to fight both a wiper and a roller, because the Splatling is more than happy to fight those two weapons, especially when the only real paint that can be provided for them is coming from a splatter shot. So Woods is probably like, yes, I knew this was happening all along. That's why they subbed me in.
That's a great point. That Nautilus is just going to be able to just completely mow down either of those weapons that tries to get close to them. Now we see Lush here. They did get some points on the board. Sky here using this Kraken to try and sustain the push that they have started. And if they're able to hone in on these two remaining players, they do take down the two remaining players of ZESTFEST. I mean, they're going to be able to continue this push that they have going.
Yeah, and they're going to get a pretty decent size of it. If Lush can start attacking that left side of the map, they're all kind of having a party in the bunker, but that's going to leave the door open for Fluffy to just kind of get control of this tower for free. So just a little bit of a... I think they were going back to get that soda and like, okay, you're moving a little too slow if you want to start attacking that second checkpoint right there. Ultimately, they're not going to get across it, but they're going to get another shot really soon because they're just dominating control mid right now.
They're doing a great job at like grouping up together, making sure that they're attacking the same things. This time, like you said, if they're able to get one or two members up on this top left, I think. There we go.
Yeah.
They have one member go up there. That is going to be a big help for them. If they're going to get more points on the board. They're doing a great job at just continuing to take down members of ZESTFEST. They just have to figure out how to get past this street area, and then they'll be in that home run.
Or they could just stay here forever because ZESTFEST can just start getting trades, but they can't survive anything. Fluffy dodging all kinds of nonsense, waiting for the tower to move to them, saying, let's just give up that checkpoint, make sure we just don't get KO'd right here. Gets a trade. 2v4 situation, though, because they had Soda and they're coming right back in. Lush starting to attack, starting to push up right here. Starting to feel like they could just end the tournament right now before we even get to a game 3, as there goes the wipeout. Flowers able to save face for now. ZESTFEST now has the issue of, all right, can we even get control of mid at this point?
I was thinking the same thing as we were watching Flowers try and paint the map with that Splatana. They have to... With the way that Lush has been playing, they need to play fast and make sure that they get control fast, because Lush, if they have an inch, they're going to be able to take it right away. I mean, the map is still very much orange, and ZESTFEST has barely been able to take control of this mid area.
And what are they going to do other than just get all the splats they need in the world? I was like, you just throw curling bomb, they're going to know where you are. It's not like Ninja Squid's going to hide a curling bomb trail there, but ultimately, you just get all the splats forehead, and then they have no choice but to retreat. Oh, nice little spot right there. And you got a Bubbler to put down on a tower. Bubbler been buffed recently, as well as Fluffy doing anything but fluffing right now, being very aggressive. Able to push up, but can ZESTFEST extend this push here? They somehow found themselves in the enemy side of the map. But at least got control of mid, and somebody's doing some work up top there, because there's a lot of Lush players that are getting splattered.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like maybe it was Fluffy, ? That was getting some action up in there and getting some picks, but we're continuing to see members of ZESTFEST. They're trying to make what they started work, and looks like they're doing a good job at getting the picks they need. But finally, with the way that ZESTFEST was staggering in, Lush was able to finally collapse on that to put a stop to that. And with 20 seconds remaining, ZESTFEST is going to have to make something crazy happen here if they want to be the team that's going to win this game.
This is a really fast game. I can't believe we're almost done right here on the time. I was thinking, okay, we're basically tied right now because they got rid of the checkpoint, but now ZESTFEST has to avoid this Kraken first off. Well, they have to get on the tower in the next second, which they don't do, so the game's over right there. But yeah, a lot of time got bled off the clock there by Lush during their push that just lasted forever. They're now up 2-0, 1 game away from ending this tournament right now.
I'm trying to think. I mean, they're just on it today. It just seems like it's one of those days where it's like, okay, this team is on their game today. ZESTFEST, they had remnants there towards the end. They were getting through the checkpoints finally. They were getting the picks that they needed finally, but it just seemed like they weren't making things happen quite fast enough. They were continuing to try and jump in and make things happen, but Lush was able to just take a breath and completely use their defense to shut that down.
And Lush is even lucky to be in this situation, to be here. They beat Name Not Found 2-1. I don't even know who that is. They barely beat Sheer Cold 2-1, and they lost the solo queue 1-2. So they lost 4 games yesterday. Going 5-1, good enough to make Alpha Bracket, but they just lose one more of those games in either one of those close sets, and they might be falling down to Beta Bracket. So they found their way into Alpha and have been making the most of this run. Now what? 3, 6, 9, 12, 14-0. I don't think we've had a team go 15-0 as a 5-1 team ever in Low Ink. So everybody has technically lost in this tournament. But so far today, Lush has been the only team as the 7th seed to not drop a single game. And they might just complete the sweep right here as we're getting one more shot from ZESTFEST.
Ooh, and I'm really curious what this counter pick is gonna be. I mean, I'm trying to think back to what I was watching ZESTFEST do good on before, and I mean, I don't know. It seems like, what do you counter pick here? Lush seems like they're just doing good on like literally everything. So I don't know. What do you pick?
I don't know. Okay, so let's break down. They got a good Charger player. Woods is still in, so they're gonna do Nautilus. And you want to do Wiper. I mean, if you wanted to do Roller, why didn't you do Roller last game at Mako Mart? And they do, like, I don't know what their kind of logic is with what they want to do right here. But if I were to find something that maximizes my short range, maybe I'm thinking either Rainmaker or a Clam Blitz on a... Is Clam Blitz Art Academy a legal pick? No. It may be. Well, it doesn't matter because they're going Tower Control Art Academy.
Oh, there it is.
All right. Why not?
Brush was ranting about this one earlier, how it's always picked. He says.
And rightfully so.
Yes.
Okay, but this was counterpicked against ZESTFEST earlier.
Yes.
And now they're picking it for themselves in a game where they have to absolutely win it, which further highlights that everybody wants to go here. So how does this advantage? But I mean, at this point, I don't know. I don't know.
You know, maybe they're just like, okay, we just played on this. We did very well. So let's do that again.
Yes. But they also, Manta Tower Control did very well. And then they didn't lose. But
yeah,
we'll
that's
see.
true.
We'll see. We'll find out.
I'm interested too. I mean, now that Lush has Woods in, you know, typically you think you would put like the quote unquote supporty player on the tower, but they put Woods on the Nautilus on the tower, and I actually think that works so well for Lush because that thing could just mow down anyone who tries to hop on the tower.
Are you saying that because you are a quote unquote support player and you are tired of riding the tower and you want someone else to do it?
Yes, this is a cry for help.
It's like, look, the Nautilus can do it too. The Nautilus is...
I'm telling everyone about this.
Tower Control Art Academy, potential tournament point for Lush as they bring out the scoped E-leader with Kraken. And when in doubt, bring the pencil out. Now ZESTFEST is getting serious.
Hot Noodle switching over to that pencil. Lucio, the infamous weapon switch arounder, is going to be playing the dualies this time. Maybe going to be able to utilize that crab. If they can get it set up correctly, I could definitely see that helping them out.
You know what's wild? They're using Respawn Punisher E-Leader as well. The reason why you don't see Respawn Punisher, period, even though it's really good on E-Leader, is just Soda negates it now for some reason. It used to be Respawn Punisher was the counter to Soda. Then Nintendo switched it around, and that basically just killed Respawn Punisher. So that's going to be and especially you're going up against Pencil that just throws out Soda like there's no tomorrow. So that's going to be the issue that the E-Leader's going to have to deal with, because every time they get splatted, they're just going to be staying in their own spawn forever.
Interesting. I didn't even, think of the logistics of that. So
Well,
interesting that the E-Litter picked that.
Okay, if Sky, if you're gonna run Respawn Punisher, maybe don't run headfirst in the mid and challenge a Wiper in point blank range to a 1v1.
Yeah, true. Okay, so we see Lush here getting on the tower. They're the first team to get points on the board, and there is a member down of ZESTFEST. There was that crab I was mentioning too. They were able to get it set up safely to hopefully get themselves up into the other team's bats, but ZESTFEST here, coolered up, is able to stay back a little bit, shut down those members who try to get into their bats, and play defense here very nicely.
And Lucio's starting to push up along this left side, putting some pressure on that Kraken that is going to be forced to pop right there. And doing a good job of, at least staying alive. Oh, probably could have got that splat on Lucio too if they found a way to engage in there, but maybe they're thinking, this is going to run out and need to try to find. This is the first time ZESTFEST has been able to get control of the tower, and Hot Doodle says, no, that's not really happening right now because they got the left side of the map controlled, so we just got to jump out of there.
They jump back. They had a member of their team jump into it. I think their jump back, their idea of that was, okay, I'm about to go down, but I do have cooler ready, so let me jump back here, make sure I save this cooler. And you can see they did use the cooler back on their side of the map. That way, their team coming back can potentially, hopefully, play very fast, and even if they go down, they're going to be able to come right back. So, bloodbath here, back and forth, as each team is really trying to get the upper hand.
And it looks like ZESTFEST finally is able to do that. Okay, I was about to say, there's only one player you can really fire that Zuka at, and they're able to get a splat on it, so that's going to eliminate the E-Leader enough for them to get the lead right here. Sovereign starting to push up Crab along this left side as well. Splat really seems to be a very popular pick on this map. And by the way, what happened with the tower? Somebody just hopped on it and stole it. It's a train robbery, which would have been a surefire lead for ZESTFEST. Instead, it goes all the way back to mid.
Yeah, Lucio actually had a great position up there in Lush's bats with that crab. Very aggressive positioning, but we saw them from their point of view having to run all the way back and be like, wait, someone needs to be on the tower. Good call from them that was able to buy their team some time, and now they are the team that is able to get the lead. Only by a few points, but they do have the lead, and they're continuing to take down members of Lush. They're doing a great job at that.
Yeah, it's just the E-Leader that's the last one right there, having to avoid this crab for a little bit. But getting the tower is just kind of meandering around. They're not getting a whole lot of points out of this, at least from what they should. And finally, Lush is able to hop in here on the defense. ZESTFEST got the lead, but has to be kicking themselves thinking, we could have a whole lot better of a lead right now. And maybe Flowers is looking to do just that with a nice little hammer play.
Yeah, Flower using that hammer and gets in some jumps too. You can see they tried to play off of that if Flower maybe would have gotten more picks or gotten in a better position with the jump-ins. But regardless, we are restarting here. Lush now the team who needs to get on the tower if they want to get the lead. The lead is not very big here. There are only 40 seconds remaining though. And as we look at Lush's specials, they do have those two specials at the ready. You can see they're just trying to figure out, okay, what's the perfect moment to use these? We want to make sure that we don't go down here because we know that we need the lead.
You could, I was about to say, you could just wait out for the sodas to go. You got plenty of time to do just that, but instead, ZESTFEST isn't going to give them the opportunity. Flower starting to push up here and force the engagement with Lush. And now, with 10 seconds left to go, in complete control of the tower, and now Flowers is just going to whack them all back to their spawn. That is a wipeout, and that is a game in ZESTFEST's favor. Lush takes their first L all day long. They bleed like us.
Yeah, I don't know. ZESTFEST, as soon as they were able to get set up and figure out those aggressive positionings that they needed to take, it really just kind of snowballed there from them. As soon as they got Flowers in those aggressive positions to utilize the hammer, and then also when they were able to use the crab too in really aggressive positions, as soon as they finally got set up like that, it was able to turn for them.
Lush wasn't really able to protect their E-leader player either. Now, the E-leader was really pushing up, was being very aggressive in multiple times. But again, if you're going to run Respawn Punisher, you need to keep your E-leader alive. And credit to ZESTFEST for constantly applying pressure to that and constantly forcing the E-leader to move into awkward situations, able to take advantage of that. Now, we've ZESTFEST now 2-0 in tower control maps. They can't pick this. They've won on splat zones. What are they doing? You can't. You won on zones. So Lush tried to pick splat zones Hagglefish like the cheaters that they are, because they've already won on it. And you know what? This is the first time they made a counter pick all day long. So we'll cut them a little slack with that. But they can't pick splat zones or tower control.
I like that they picked it fast, because when I was watching them previously, this is the map that they just dominate on. So they were like, yep, we know our counter pick. But they can't pick zones.
They can't even pick tower control here because they've won on tower too. So they can't do Hagglefish, period.
Wow.
And they are gonna like just load up into the game so that they can cancel it. So we will get a different counter pick. But yeah, so they're basically, or not basically, they can only pick Rainmaker and Clam Blitz, which based on the comps that ZESTFEST likes to do would be modes they would prefer to play on anyways. I mean, obviously not because they never counterpicked it, but just from a comp perspective, it seems like those are going to be modes that are going to be comfortable for ZESTFEST to go on to. But now it's just a question of, do you do the, well, let's just go to Scorch Gorge because that's like the middle of the road kind of pick for things, or if they have something kind of planned out. But at this point, anything that's a legal counterpick would be welcomed.
Yeah. Okay, it looks like Rainmaker Scorch Gorge. Okay.
Fair enough. Okay. I mean, look, we limit the map pools. It's not like there's a bunch of like sexy picks you can go with. But yeah, Rainmaker, fair enough. It's just a question of, okay, so Woods is staying in, and Woods was doing dualies last game. Like, are they going to go anchorless here with Sky? Because Sky can kind of like flex around, right?
Yeah. I know, that's what I was thinking too. If they're, but the way that ZESTFEST plays, I feel like you maybe do want to utilize the Nautilus, because that Nautilus is going to be do a great job at shutting down ZESTFEST, and then also help them be a little bit more mobile if Sky flexes onto something else. So we're going to have to see.
We are, and ZESTFEST still just has to win one game, or Lush just has to win one game and this tournament is over. ZESTFEST has to win 2, and then if they do that, we have to play this whole thing all over again and do a whole nother bracket. But we'll see how this goes. Queuing up for game 4 here. Rainmaker, Scorch Gorge, the counter pick by Lush, the first one they've made all day long. Woods has a gold badge on Golden Arrow Spray, by the way, right there. As Hot Doodle is still in the, okay, we're about to lose, it's time to be serious, we need to use pencil. But yeah, Sky's going to the 96 Deco with the Kraken, so no E-leader this time around.
And Woods sticking on the dualies instead of switching over to the Nautilus, which I think the crab here is going to be really, really good for them, so I definitely see why they would have picked that. Both teams here starting into mid. One member going down on the side of ZESTFEST. Lucio there trying to shark on the wall there, tries to push forward and get a pick, but Lush doing what they do, playing together really nicely with that synergy that they have. Backs up, gets that pick, and now they have used that Kraken. There goes Sky with that Kraken to lead the Rainmaker, though they didn't get the dunk. Very close.
So this is why I was thinking ZESTFEST would want to go on a map like this, because they would use the faster comp. Instead, they're going to use Pencil so they can keep the paint and the and the sodas coming out right here. But instead, it is Lush that is going with the much more faster comp, going anchorless, going aggressive, and they are being the more dominant team here in the opening minute. They didn't clear that checkpoint though, did they? So that's basically an empty push right there. But well. What? Okay.
As Brush says.
Hey, this is gonna be a really good push here for ZESTFEST.
Okay, so Hot Doodle has grabbed the Rainmaker, but with a Kraken and a hammer coming right at your face, that is definitely going to put a stop to what you had going on. Flowers, though, still up in this right flank area, gets a pick and drops into mid. You can see the members of Lush, they're like, gosh, this Wiper is somewhere around mid. We need to make sure we call this out. They finally take down Flowers. Flowers being a nuisance there in mid. Lush did grab the Rainmaker. I liked that they grabbed it because Flowers could have easily flanked around, grabbed that Rainmaker, and gotten even more points on the board. So at Lush, at least grabbing the Rainmaker, dropping it down to mid, and even if they do go down, don't get a push in. That Rainmaker's at least more in a more neutral position.
And getting the lucky splat on Flowers as well. I guarantee you the Rainmaker puts this. Oh, that splatted that person? Okay, cool. Now, they still haven't cleared this first checkpoint, and Sovereign's going to make sure that's not the case right now. They do have that Kraken ready to go, though. They are popping it right here, trying to go after that Rainmaker to make sure it doesn't escape so much. And they do get this splat on the Rainmaker with the rest of their teammates jumping right back in. Lush is in a, well, they were, and then I saw where they got the splat on the Rainmaker in that awkward kind of corner, so maybe not.
That whenever the Rainmaker is down there, it's just a very awkward position for the Rainmaker to be in, especially if you're the team who is trying to push the Rainmaker. You have to get down into that pit area, pop the Rainmaker, grab it, but also be careful because the other team is just going to be right above you and could easily shut you down. So Lush doing a great job at that so far. They're just playing it very slowly, which I think is exactly what they need to do if they want to safely push this Rainmaker. They take down 3 members of ZESTFEST. It's just Flowers left alive there, backing up to regroup with their teammates, get that first checkpoint, and, let's see what happens here. They pop the Rainmaker, they're going to grab it to get more points on the board.
They're going to get the lead right behind this Kraken as well. 42 remaining before all hell breaks loose on top of this, but there's the Kraken. Sky just literally swimming through everything. I didn't even know you could do that, but just charged right at the Rainmaker and went from a decent lead to now a game-winning push of 23 remaining. And Woods is just making, oh my gosh, Woods, don't get a quad right there. You can't do that to them.
They definitely were trying to do that. I mean, okay, finally though, they were called out. Now this is exactly what I talked about previously. Lush did the same exact thing. They at least, ZESTFEST at least grabbed the Rainmaker, dropped it down into mid, into a more neutral position. That way they are now the team to regroup in their spawn. Flowers coming out with that hammer. Sover uses the Zuka to get 2 members down on the side of Lush, and now this is a great opening actually for Lush to grab the Rainmaker, potentially get a push going as they take down 1 member of Lush.
The good news for ZESTFEST is they've already cleared this checkpoint. The bad news is they just got wiped out. The real bad news, or the good news for Lush, is that they have the liberty of playing defense pretty deep into their base because of what the score is. But now 20 seconds remaining, they're just going to paint it orange and say, if you want to win this tournament, come and get it. And Doodle can't just stay back here at this point. They have to charge that Rainmaker, and they have to do it right now with the time ticking down. 5 seconds now. Are they going to be able to find a way to pop it and pick it up in time? 1 second left to go. The answer is no. Expertly played there at the end by Lush as they find a way to win the Mayloing.
Woo, Lush, they knew exactly what they needed to do there. They had their defense ready. There was that crab ready. How do you pop the Rainmaker if there's a crab just poking at the Rainmaker, countering it that you're trying to pop? So Lush doing a great job. at winning that final game, and not only that final game, but winning Low Ink in its entirety.
They lost 5 games over the course of the weekend, but only one today. They've played the best teams in this alpha bracket: Clairvoyance, Blaeksprutter, Solo Q, ZESTFEST, and they almost swept all of them. ZESTFEST taking 1 game off of them. By the way, a team in ZESTFEST who has finished 2nd place twice in 3 months. They've been to grand finals and not gotten it done, but still the consistency on show for them. But Lush, nicely done. Found a way to qualify for alpha bracket and made the most of it.
What a great storyline to be able to watch. That's just, I mean, that's awesome.
What an awesome tournament.
It is. And I was saying too, I love how fast this tournament is. It's just organized. It's like bam, bam, let's go. We know what to do. Good tournament all around.
Oh, it's never this fast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, we can roll with that. What is 4 hours and 15 minutes?
From an outsider perspective, I'm like, wow, this is so fast.
It is. We'll roll with that. No, if that's the feedback you're giving us, we'll take it. We'll roll with that. I'm fine. Because I got other stuff I need to do today, so I'm totally on board with that. And I know everyone else does as well. There's a no Zuka tournament going on right now. You got you got your Ludi teammates that you got to figure out if you're actually gonna. Are you doing Ludi this season?
Is today the last day to sign up?
I don't know. No. I think you got all of next week to do it.
Oh, okay. Undecided.
Okay, I'm decided as no. So.
Okay.
Okay, we're done. We're done here.
We're out of here.
We're out of here. Riza, where can people find you other than MomoCon this weekend?
Ooh, nice plug there. You guys can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Rissa Pie. So that's my plug. And of course, I'll be commentating MomoCon this upcoming weekend as well.
When is that? Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Yes, it's going to be all 3 days. It's interesting. I think they're running Mario Kart, Smash, and Splatoon all 3 days, like mixed in together.
Are you going to be commentating Mario Kart at any point?
No.
Lame. All right.
I know.
You can catch me giving PJ a bath. I think it's bath time now, so we're going to go and do that. Or Popcast tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. From all of us here at IPL, the lovely and talented producer behind the scenes here, Ink Fair, also the person operating the handheld camera at Low Tide City. If you saw any shots of the crowd or a stuffed chicken, that was Ink Fair holding the camera for that. The head TOs for this tournament, myself, Brush, and Hoenn Hero, and all of our lovely and talented staff behind the scenes working all month long to get this tournament together. We thank you for watching. We will see you back here next month with the June edition of Low Ink. We'll see you then.